Oh, I forgot to take the IG pic. Um, Thank you guys for joining. This is episode 13 of the Outlet Podcast. We got a couple of guests here. We have Kevin and Maria with Milk Noise, and we have Jose and Roberto with Noche Americana, and the host, Tannen and I. Um, so I'm gonna kind of just call you guys, and then you guys just kind of say what your name is and what you guys do. Um, yeah. So if you want to start, go ahead, Kevin.
So what's up, guys? My name's Kevin. One half of Milk Noise. I'm in Milk Noise with Maria, and we do a bunch of photography and videography, and we try to do it so it's like a more collaborative kind type of thing. So we try to combine like both styles, so we can bring like a different image to like the scene and shit like that. But yeah.
Yeah. So I'm Maria and I'm the other half of Milk Noise. So pretty much what Kevin said, we do both videos and photos. Um, and usually it's like for concerts or just general portraits or just, free shoots and stuff. But that's pretty much what we do.
Cool.
Pretty cool.
And then you guys.
First.
Yeah, so I'm Robert, part of Noche Americana. Are you just here?
I'm Jose, the creator of Noche Americana. We kind of work as like, I'm one half, he's the other half. But honestly, wouldn't even put it like that because there's a lot of us that work together. But we are a video production company here in the Valley, and we center around creative productions.
Yeah.
Right. Up to now, it's mostly been a lot of like documentaries on local artists. But we want to jump into music videos this next quarter of the year. So that's kind of what we're working on right now, on our first music video. But yeah.
Yeah, that's about it.
Dang. So you already
Yeah,
have
that's
the
really cool.
first music video like planned out? You have the artist and everything? Or
Yeah, we got the artist.
Yeah.
can you guys share or nah?
I haven't asked her if we can be public about it because there was something with the record label that
Okay.
she had to verify with. But she is a Phoenix local.
Okay. I'm trying to think. Phoenix locals
pretty
that are
neat.
girls.
But you
Phoenix
said you
local.
shot some.
Either way, we won't get into that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't know because
Yeah.
we had to jump through some hoops with her record label, so I don't want to speak out of line.
Was that like the first time you ever had to do that?
Yeah, actually.
I'm so used to saying
That's
whatever the hell. One day I'm gonna have to sign
You
that
guys gotta
NDA.
quote to her.
Yeah.
To her, so it's a girl artist.
Yeah, but I mean, there's no way to know. It's just based on that.
But you could talk about your current work, right? Like what's some of your current work that you've done that's on your site? Because you guys have a site, right, to find all your
Yeah,
stuff.
I guess our debut to the art scene was with Permanent.
Which he's a mural artist.
Yeah, he's a mural artist here in Phoenix. Well, a little more than a mural artist. He's an artist here in Phoenix.
Yeah.
So we did some work with him. Like we did a couple of videos for him. And then we did we did one for Ray for Keto. But I guess the foundation of what we do was out of like realizing how much of a need there is for a good quality film scene here in Phoenix.
Right. Yeah.
Because I mean, you hear all this stuff about LA, but there really isn't anything, at least that I know of. I mean, I'm sure there is a lot of great videographers and great filmmakers here, but I mean, Phoenix isn't really known for like the film scene.
I think there's definitely the skill is here. It's just like kind of like the culture to
right
to like emphasize it.
So I guess that's where this kind of all started, is noticing that gap and trying to fill it. So if more high quality productions start coming out of people being inspired by our work, then that's like a fulfilled mission, I would say.
That's a really cool
not a
take.
monetary thing.
What was that?
I said I like how it's not a monetary goal. You know what I mean? Like you have a goal that's
Yeah.
to build something rather than basically to make something of yourself or for yourself.
Right.
I admire it.
Yeah, it's definitely not really a monetary goal, because like if we were in it for the money,
Yeah,
we would be shooting stuff for basses.
yeah, like when we started, we kind of said we don't want to do like a lot of corporate stuff.
Mhm.
So there was like a sense of like turning down money in order to maintain like a vision.
Have you guys
Yeah,
ever?
there is a somewhat of a plan to like raise funds for our creative projects. So I mean, a part of us does like do corporate work, but we don't promote it because that's not the face of what we do.
Right. I was gonna say just do it as like a ghost firm. You know what I mean? To where you can use all of what you have done to actually cash out. Because I mean you like have expensive equipment, and just to like recoup all your costs and your investments. It's definitely worth it. But I understand not wanting to put it under like your brand name.
Yeah. I want to hear more about MILKNOISE though, because I'm actually not familiar with their work. So if you guys want to talk a little more about that.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah,
You want to go, or me go?
Music
You can
videos
t-
are
you can
You're a
go
better
first.
talker
recent.
than me.
Well, first it was just we were both individually doing work. So he was doing photography and videography, and I was just doing photography. And we both have like really different styles, but kind of similar, I would say. And one day we were just hanging out and we were talking about how we both pretty much do the same thing. And here in Phoenix, I don't think there's much like duo creators, I would say, that like do either photography or videography. Like I haven't seen it here. Maybe there is, but I have never heard of somebody or a duo that does that. So we were just talking about that one day, and we were thinking about a name that we can come up with for both of us. Something random, but kind of can stick to your head, and that's how we came up with Milk Noise. It was really just a random name that we came up with. But the start of that, our goal was to shoot festivals and concerts and stuff. So that's pretty much what we started with. And starting off, we would do free shoots just to get our content and stuff like that. And then we started getting asked to do paid shoots. But because of COVID and stuff, we couldn't shoot festivals. We had like big artists.
Yeah.
Like for EDC, we were supposed to shoot a DJ for EDC concert. And then there was also another artist we were supposed to shoot here in Phoenix, but because of COVID, that was put back. But pretty much that's what we do. He mostly does the videos and stuff like that, and then we both do photography for local artists or artists that come from different places, like DJs or people like that.
Pretty dope.
That's cool. How'd you guys get into that? Because like I remember you guys coming to some of the shows, and like I didn't know you guys, but like I just in passing, and then I knew you guys through Slater. You came through when we were doing the outlet downtown, and you guys shot the video for what was it, Innocence?
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
think it
think
was.
it was. Yeah.
Yeah, at the studio thing, the block.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then like around that time is when I seen you guys shooting like festivals and like venues, but like
Yeah.
but I didn't know you guys, so I didn't actually see the transition, like
Yeah.
how did that all happen?
Well, I've been knowing Slater since like middle school, so I've been supporting him ever since then. I remember like even in middle school and high school, I used to beatbox. We used to get like a crowd of people, and I used to beatbox and used to start rapping and shit. So I started getting into like that scene, like when he started just going to like the little shows and stuff, and then that's how I met you guys and like everybody else in the scene or whatever. But I've always been into like raves and stuff and concerts. Like I think it was like Call of Duty montages. I don't know if you guys ever played like Modern Warfare 2, like the church shouting days and shit. So that's when like I first heard of like Skrillex and shit, and I got into the music. I started going to raves, and then I started seeing people like shooting. Like I started seeing like video and like camera people being up there with the DJs and stuff, and I was like, oh shit, that's pretty fucking sick. I do videos too or whatever. And then I think I just started doing like a bunch of like research or whatever, and then that's when I was like, oh, they have teams, they have managers. Oh, I need to start emailing these people. So I started emailing a bunch of DJs, and I was doing it for free because like I didn't really have like a brand for myself or like an image for myself. So I just started doing a bunch of free shows, and then yeah, that's how it came about. I just started emailing a bunch of people. We started doing more and more shows, festivals. We recently got really close with these two DJs. They came from California. Their name's Wolf Logic, and they're in this really big label. It's called Barong Family. And then we got super close with them. And then that's when we started going to California to shoot shows. And then that's when we just started linking up with a bunch of other DJs. But for the scene, like to get introduced to that scene, because I started off wanting to be like a DJ producer, this and that or whatever. And I was like, no, this is too much work. And I was like, I'm really good with the video and like camera stuff. Like I still want to be in this little era of like this little scene or whatever that's going on. So then yeah, that's how I just got stuck into it. But ever since COVID and everything, that shit sucks. And like we can't shoot festivals or stuff. So like we're in a little rut right now. Cause like, yeah.
I'm kind of
That's how it came
curious
about.
from the first show, whether it was like a local show or something that you went to the first show that you got paid for. How long was that?
Yeah. I think that was last year. I think it was last year, September. It was Gold Rush. It's called Gold Rush. It's a festival. It's
Okay.
out in
Oh yeah.
Chandler.
Yeah.
That was the last one.
So how long?
And then we got invited to shoot EDC. I don't know if you guys know EDC. It's like a big festival in Vegas. It's like a 3-day festival, and we got
That's
asked.
probably that's like the biggest festival in
That's the biggest
like
one we
EDM
done.
community.
Yeah.
No, for sure.
But the first free shoot, who was that with?
I'm just trying to like for anybody who is still in that phase of like not making money. Like, how long were you guys working before you saw any sort of return? You know what I mean?
Like
It took us
2
months.
years. Oh, it's sick.
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
That's sick.
Yeah, it took us a long time because first, like, we didn't have the content to be charging. So we would just, like he said, he would just email people like crazy. Like if we saw local artists just coming to Phoenix, that's who we'd be shooting. Like, hey, this is some of our work. We would just show work that we've done, like portraits and stuff like that. And we'd say like if they needed a photographer, videographer, that we would do it for free. And we would just email a whole bunch of artists that would come here, and some of them would respond, others wouldn't. It's just pretty much just going to ask. Like the worst thing that can happen is that they don't respond, or they say that they have somebody else already shooting the show. So it's pretty much just going out and asking. That's what we were doing, and we started getting told like, yeah, you can come shoot this, and that's how we started getting content. And then we actually, when we wanted to start to charge, that's when we had a website and we had content to show them. Like, this is our portfolio. This is shows that we've shot. And then if they would want to hire us, these are rates. And then our first paid shoot was probably the biggest one, was probably the Gold Rush one. That was a festival in Chandler.
That's
That was
a
the
huge
first
one.
big paid one.
Yeah, and it's not like if people want to do it, like don't be in it for the money either. Just do it because like it's fun. It's really fun.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, like to be like a photographer for like a concert or festival or like that, I feel like the end goal is just like to build like a lot of cool relationships and to be able to go on tour and stuff like that, and just to experience something like that, you know. But like if you're in it for the money, then don't even do it.
Or even just free shows.
Yeah,
like, I used to shoot at shows.
It's cool because you get
for
to
that
meet
reason.
like these artists, and you
That's what I
actually get
mean,
to talk to them and stuff. It's a really cool experience.
Yeah. I feel like my question was more to dissuade people that are in it for the money. I was hoping you would say like a really long time. You know what I mean? So anybody who was thinking like, I'm gonna get into this for money, it's like get out of here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
About like people being in it for the money. I pointed this out like a while ago, and I was like, videography and photography is probably one of like those industries where it's the most cash grabby, because all you need is a camera and like free video editing. And so you'll get like all these people that literally only want like are in it for the money, and there is like no love poured into their productions. And you can tell very easily, like even in like mainstream local like channels, like just like the ads or like like any like media that's produced that's like on TV or like social media, you'll see like all this like mediocre stuff, and that's kind of one thing that we noted. Like we honestly just want to change that. Like that's the long-term mission of Noche Americana. If there is higher quality production, then like across the board, then it's a success for the industry. Yeah.
I've ran into some of your guys' stuff. I think the first thing I saw was like the Perry thing, and I was like, oh shit, this is super dope. Cause it was like an actual like little film documentary. And like you said, I don't really think there's like a scene like that here, like people doing like really like high production films like that. But it was super dope.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that one was fun to shoot. It was like actually my first time being around like spray paint and like and we shot that at the Greater Good with Jesse. It was fun. Yeah, it was that guy's he's crazy. Permanent, like definitely love his work. And it was really fun to like see him do the mural in person. And like that's one of the things that you guys said is you get to like be part of these environments that you wouldn't necessarily be a part of, and like with like a day job.
The last time I ran into Isaiah, he told me you guys met through a job, like, and like that's how you guys is like.
Yeah. So
eventually start working together.
I'll tell that story. So we met at Starbucks. A coworker of mine before he got hired there told me about Isaiah like way before he got hired. I started following him on social media, and the day of his orientation, I was like, "Hey, are you permanent?" And he's like, "Yeah." And that week when he came in, it was like my last week at Starbucks. So there wasn't any like relationship formed. But I had to go back because of COVID, and when I came back, that's when the relationship formed with me being his video producer. And it's pretty cool because like we talk about how like COVID really affected us as creators. It affected us across the board. But honestly, if it wasn't for COVID, like we probably wouldn't have had like as clear as a vision as we do now. And that relationship with Isaiah wouldn't have formed because it was the ease of like just being there in person with him throughout a like large portion of my week, where we started talking about art, videos, and so it's like a blessing in disguise in a way. But
yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, that's really cool that you guys were able to develop that relationship. So we just had Slater jump on.
Soleil.
Sorry that he had a really
Soleil, not Slater.
Says the guy who said Slater like 6 times. Yeah, so like just brief introduction to Soleil. He's like a local Phoenix musician, rapper. I know MILKNOISE already knows them, but just to let you guys know, this is where he is. We've been going for like 15 minutes already, so nothing too crazy. I don't know how long you'll be here, but I know you're here with a purpose. If you want to talk about it.
I was telling them about, remember high school when we used to form the little groups during lunch when I used to start beatboxing, used to start rapping and shit. We used to get the crowds going and shit.
Man, don't bring me back to memory lane.
I just imagine you like on the lunch table.
That crazy.
Very U-Haul-esque. I said, I imagine you like standing on the lunch table, very U-Haul-esque, with like a little group of kids in front of you.
He's all hyping up the crowd. He's all like this and shit.
And Blue's just behind you.
No, you know that little stage we had right there?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, in the middle.
I was on that.
Oh, were you really?
Yeah, it was like this little stage, bro. At the school, like right behind the little Mata and all that shit.
Yeah.
And I'll be rapping off that and making fun of people in my raps and shit like that. Yeah, man. No, that was fun. Even middle school was crazy because y'all would make me kids who didn't rap.
I know.
And y'all just wanted to see them just
Mars.
State the mind.
Dang, I couldn't imagine going up against Slater in a freestyle. I would just get shit on.
No, you get roasted, bro.
Oh,
You ever hung
instantly.
out with them,
Instantly.
bro? They're ruthless.
Hey, we flaming on this side.
So
Oh,
I
but
know.
we have Soleil here today. He's just passing by, but he came in because he's dropping a project on Monday, and this is dropping on Monday, so it'd be kind of cool just to have him on to talk about it. The project's amazing.
Yeah.
The second track is very good.
So we switched it up. This will actually come out tomorrow. So anybody that's listening can go listen to this. Where? Just is it Spotify and everything?
So it's gonna be for the first week is gonna be exclusively on Bandcamp and SoundCloud. The next week, right after that, literally that following Monday, is gonna be on streaming platforms. But yeah, man, it's 10 tracks. You know what I'm saying? Just a real solid project. I've been sitting on it for a minute, so I just wanted to give it out to the people real quick, just to make sure they had something. You know what I mean?
Is like another album?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn, didn't even give it 2 weeks. Dropping all this shit on them. I said you didn't even give it 2 weeks. You dropping all this shit on them.
I was like, because I'm like, fuck a roll, and they don't care about that shit. They want to see, bro. They want the music.
We're working with Slater every fucking week. I feel like we had to tell him to slow down. He's like this, bro.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Just fucking floor. Keep going.
Oh God, bro, it don't stop. Like,
I mean, if the consistency is there, I don't see a real negative to it. At least in current times, you know what I mean? It's not like you can like plan around a show or like or anything. Everyone's just living on the internet.
Plus, the project's been done, right? It's been done for a minute.
It's been done for for months, bro. I just been sitting on that shit because I was trying to be completely honest, I was trying to shop it to get deals. Like, I was like kind of on that cusp, like to getting a deal for it and getting some type of distribution deal or just something like just have some little change in the pocket, but not even that, but just get it to a level where it needed to be represented on. And, when it didn't fall through, I was like, fuck all that. I'm just going to put this shit out and, stop waiting and stop sitting on it. And then you kind of, as an artist, you kind of get this like a little depressed because you want to put music out, but then you're waiting for that perfect fucking moment that does not exist. Like, there's no such thing as a perfect moment. So, I figure like, why not just do it now, put that shit out now, and these kids are crazy. But just put that shit out now, give it to the people. Don't even try to make this crazy rollout thing. And, shit costs, I ain't gonna lie, that shit costs money, bro. That shit costs money to do all this marketing and promotion. It's like, y'all already know. Y'all was with me, so y'all was putting in that shit. Like, y'all seen it, y'all done it. So I'm like, fuck all that. Like, I'd rather just do it easier, not stress myself out. Be like, hey, y'all got 2 weeks. Y'all got 2 days to gear up. You know what I mean? Tighten up around this motherfucker, because it's coming out. It's coming to you. It's gonna hit you.
I feel you.
Track 2 goes crazy. Those drums, crazy.
Hey, man. Somebody compared it to Missy Elliott, and I was like, man, that's a crazy compliment.
That's got me more excited to listen to it.
Timberland.
So I know you just put out a video too with MILKNOISE. I don't know if you want to talk about that for a sec, like how the shooting went. Because I know Noche Americana is going to be shooting future music videos. So if you guys have like tips for them on like working with artists and stuff like that, I think that would.
Yeah, I feel like the bond just has to be there, because like if you're working with someone that's just like, I don't know, they're just like kind of off, it just kind of demotivates you to just like put your all into the project. That's why I feel like every time me and Slater get on some shit, it's just like naturally, like it's just like, because like we both know what we can do together, and just like when we both like just collab on shit, it just always goes crazy. So I feel like the bond that you like just have with people, it's just like, it's like super important.
For sure.
It's all about that relationship, man. It's about that energy, bro. And it's like, I've known him. I've known him and Maria for years plus. So we go in and we go in with an idea. It may not even be premeditated. We may not even have anything drawn up. It can be literally like, hey, what day you want to meet and what time? all right, bet we're gonna be here, all right, and then literally just draw that shit up, because I know how he works and he knows how I work, so it makes it much easier to just do that shit on the fly.
Yeah.
It ain't the most, because there's not a lot of, you only got to think too much about it. You can just go in, okay, this is how I feel. This shot should, this is how, you know what I'm saying? This is how I feel this shot should be. And, you know, you should pan it this way. And, you know, you should go to this location and da-da-da.
Yeah.
And everything is just natural. So, you know, that's why the videos end up looking the way they do.
And walking into it blind seems very intimidating if you're like trying to do this thing. Do you like doing that, or do you have a plan in your head before you walk up to Slater, who I guess don't have a plan?
That's like the con of me. Like, I feel like if I plan too much shit out, or if I have like a storyline to something, it's just like I overthink too much, that when it comes down to the actual shooting, I'm like, nah, I don't fucking like this. So I'd rather just like, I kind of have like I'll have an idea, like an imprint in my head, but I won't like actually like have like this scene. We'll just go, and then whatever we're feeling, like we'll just shoot it. But that's like, I feel like that's like a pro and a con. I just like, I overthink so much shit, man.
I feel like we're probably the opposite. we have like weeks, not weeks, like a week where we just meet up 2 times that week and plan it out. We like timeline it all. Yeah. And the next day we come back at a first look. All right, what do we want to change? Do all that. And we try to get all the details done.
Yeah.
Before.
That's how I like to be.
Yeah.
It's definitely though like improvisation.
Yeah. It's not set. Like we're like stiff on set. Like, we'll definitely change it up if we feel something.
Yeah. I have shot a video like that though, where it was like actually years ago. I was still in high school, where it was literally just me and my iPhone, and then my friend who's still
that's that efficiency right there.
Yeah. It was when iPhones started 4K cameras on them, so I was like, why not? And that was really fun. But yeah, like right now, like definitely we're heavy on the planning.
Yeah. Especially with COVID, that kind of freed up a lot of time to plan everything out before. Yeah.
Do you think you've like, because I know I've asked this before on a different episode, where a lot of different people who are creatives have been able to almost take advantage of COVID and grow themselves. Maybe not take advantage, but they've benefited in some way of business form.
I think, definitely. And then I think also in general, I feel like everybody at the beginning of COVID, when they were all like stuck in their houses, I think there was kind of like a phase where everybody felt motivated to like self-improve because they had all this free time. And it just depended on if they kept that wave going, that self-improvement wave going throughout the whole quarantine. I think if they took advantage of it, a lot of great things could come out of it.
Yeah. It definitely felt like everything got paused as it did. But it was definitely like before COVID, I was like feeling overwhelmed with like just constantly trying to keep up with like putting out things, and all right, gotta put out a video this month, gotta start working on it. And I caught myself just making things to make things, not really because I liked it. But yeah, I mean,
how did you get out of that funk? Because I know some people will maybe like have a certain style in the beginning, and that style kind of gains them traction, and then they kind of fall out of liking that style. How do you like force yourself to step out of kind of what's already working to do something that you like more or just feel more passionately about?
Well, I mean, I had to dig deep into my intention. Like I said, I was just putting out things to put things out. So it was just taking a step back and like figuring out what it is we're doing here. So if a project takes a little longer, then it's going to take a little longer. Yeah.
Damn.
And I think it was also just like taking the risk to just, all right, I'm gonna change it this time, and even if it added more risk to like where it might fail, I was like, I'm just gonna do it, change it up.
Yeah. I definitely empathize with that. We've had a few iterations of this podcast /interviews /hangouts for a long time, like dating back 4 or 5 years. They've had different iterations and stuff. And previously we've always stopped for quality. You know what I mean? Like it just wasn't where we wanted to be. We wanted to go in a slightly different direction or something. So I definitely respect like pausing stuff, but it is important to at some point just gain that momentum and consistency.
Right. Yeah, and it's also like once you feel yourself kind of like not improving, you have to be able to catch yourself that you're not improving and like force yourself to improve. Or else like the complacency becomes boredom, which becomes unmotivation.
Yeah. Almost like sometimes like even animosity with the whole situation. Like you can almost like grow to dislike this thing that you loved at one point.
Yeah. Which like the improvement, it brings in challenge. Like you have to place that challenge upon yourself, because you could probably go by without challenge. But like the journey is like more important than the destination. I think the challenge gives a lot more satisfaction than the projects that you complete.
Yeah. I know you briefly kind of mentioned that there's like a lot of different people that work on this same project. Do you think it's really important to surround people around you that motivate you, or do you think most of your motivation comes from like internal?
Yeah, definitely. So at first it was just me making videos, but when you bring people on, your vision multiplies. Now you have like 7x amount of eyes and brains and ideas flowing around. So yeah, I think it is very important to surround yourself with people. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say like like everyone that I'm surrounded with inspires me, but it can be like anybody that has an idea that will like contribute a small thing to a production, and it'll just
what I felt like it introduced was specialization. So I'm pretty sure we've all known like where you're like the one video guy, you're doing like every single thing. You're doing sound, and you're doing editing, and then you're doing cinematography and all that. And then when you start introducing people, and you can like, oh, okay, I'm gonna focus on like cinematography this time, and then you can learn what your skills are, or like what your interests are, and then you can kind of delve deep into that. Like when you delve deep into one specific, like if you delve deep into cinematography, it's gonna grow a lot more interesting than if you're doing everything at a surface level, or if you delve deep into color correcting, or
you'll burn yourself out.
Yeah, but if you just pick one, if you're able to pick one and kind of learn all the interesting and complex things about it, then it becomes a lot more engaging, and then you can use the motivation kind of stays there.
Yeah, and a lot of the times, one of the key things we want to keep in mind when we're looking for people to help us on set or just to join our creative crew is, over anything, like we don't even care if you're not like, if you don't consider yourself talented or like crazy genius artist, but it's just like if you're willing to like learn and you work well with a team, like we want you here. Like that's pretty much what all this is. It's just like people collaborating and then executing the vision.
I like that.
Yeah.
I think we've had we kind of like worked on BFR in a way, and like the promotion of it and doing all of that layout stuff that he kind of mentioned before, which was the album that Soleil previously released. Just to give you more context. And I always felt that was better to have like way more people's inputs. That way you can like, if you're just rattling stuff off in your own head, it's very hard to have new ideas come in once you think you have a good idea. And there can always be a better idea.
Yeah.
The man's fell off.
That's cool though. So do you guys like have a specific person to do each thing? Like do you have someone that like cuts up the clips, color grades it, and like, or someone that does like the effects, like this and that, or like how do you guys do it?
Well, at the moment, Robert and I are wearing a lot of hats, but when we are on production, we do have like specialized people. So we'll have like an audio person, lighting person.
Yeah.
We'll have a third set of eyes to assist us with angles, like camera work.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're kind of getting there for sure.
Yeah. Well, it's yeah, we're not there all the way. It's definitely a goal, but once you see it in action, like a little bit, like you want it more. But yeah. But,
What do you guys use to edit?
We do DaVinci.
DaVinci. I never heard of
We switched from
DaVinci Resolve by Blackmagic. So the thing with DaVinci is that it's really strong with color correction, so color grading, right? So once we got a like a new camera so we shoot everything in log now. So then obviously when you shoot in log, color correction becomes a really big part of the pipeline. So that's why we chose DaVinci. That it's like the industry standard, I think, for that.
It's like better for color grading your footage and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Before that, we used Premiere, which is good.
Premiere's good. DaVinci definitely was like a learning curve. But I wouldn't switch back now.
Yeah. Once I learned it,
Yeah, like I used to color in DaVinci, export it, go to Premiere to assemble. But now I don't even do that. I just assemble and color in DaVinci.
Yeah, it's like more convenient.
Yeah, more convenient, easier to use.
I would be
All the
so
pros, no
hesitant to
cons.
like leave the Adobe suite. I'm so ingrained in like all of them, and they're all somewhat similar, and it gets easier to learn new stuff. And then I would just be like, dang, I really want to go out.
Well, we are still kind of tied to like anytime we have to do special effects, like it's After Effects, right? Like, and then Photoshop, Lightroom, like we still have to use all that. So
DaVinci does have their like own version of After Effects. It's called Fusion, and it's integrated into like DaVinci.
Yeah. Although I would say it's not as strong.
Yeah, it's not as strong, and we also haven't like taken the initiative to learn it. So
yeah,
we're still doing After Effects.
I know After Effects. That's like scary waters right there. I've done like one thing. I did it in the video we did for Slater 3-piece, like the beginning. That's the only thing I did. Just the tracking, the text tracking, and that took like so long too. But
yeah,
I actually started in After Effects and learned Premiere second. So
yeah.
I did a lot of like motion graphics and and like a lot of like. Well, I was pretty young at the time, so it was like crappy special effects. But then so.
Yeah, when we were like 14, 15, we did like a mini series for his dad's church, and it would just be like kids shooting lasers out of their hands. So that was like,
that's the church commercial,
like,
and that's
which is like a foundation. Which like I still go to After Effects. Like I still use it a lot. So
that was actually my introduction to like After Effects.
Yeah, I feel like just when you're on Premiere and then you try to go to After Effects, it's like, what the fuck is this? Because everything's kind of like
a lot different.
It's like backwards, kind of. It's so weird.
Yeah, I remember looking at it. I was like, what the hell? Trying to put like text in there.
I know. I was like, how do you even fucking make it play? I was lost for like 5 minutes.
And shit. I remember the first time.
Yeah, it's finished.
But
are you guys?
Well, now that I know it, a lot of it seems like intuitive. But I don't know if I would go back. It would be like what the hell's going on?
Yeah.
Are you guys all self-taught for like all this software, or did you guys actually take like any sort of schooling or classes or anything?
Self-taught and still learning.
Yeah, self-taught.
Yeah, just YouTube, man. YouTube University, that's the place.
Hey, that's what I always say.
Free.
Dude, YouTube is amazing. I don't know how I learned anything before that.
Yeah. Also, out of like
necessity, right?
Well, I would place necessity on myself. So, like I would I'm gonna do this video so I can learn this effect. So then I would force myself to learn the effect.
Yeah, I do that too.
Yeah.
Have you ever jumped into a project with an effect in mind that carries a lot of the video, but you don't even know if you can execute it?
Yeah, well, you have like a rough plan. So you go in there, especially with After Effects, you're like, okay, I'm gonna make this object. You put it in there, it looks like garbage, and then you just like and then you're right there, you're stuck. You're forced to learn how to do it. So you have to go through all these YouTube tutorials, combine them all together, and come up with a better effect.
Yeah, I remember when I was like, I think I was like 17 or 18, but I remember, I don't know if you guys seen it. It's like a pack that comes in After Effects. It's like a bunch of effects.
Like the default ones?
No, it's like a thing you buy. It's like it's kind of like
preset?
It's like a preset,
like
but
presets.
it comes with like 30 different effects. It has like a warp, a spin, and all that. I think I was like 17, and I literally in every cut I would put a transition. It was like so bad. And I was like, fuck, this is the sickest shit ever. And I uploaded it and everything. I was like, no. And I still have it, but it's on private now. I'm just like, what are you doing, man?
We have a lot of videos on private.
Dang, maybe we should private some videos. I only have one privated, and that's because the person asked us.
Oh,
We'll
really?
sell them as an
Yeah.
NFT.
True. Once everyone pops, you can use those private ones. Never before
I
seen.
know.
I mean, it was public at some point, so some people see.
Do you guys have projects like that where at the time you thought it was like the greatest thing you ever created, but you look back now
Yeah.
and you can, yeah.
Yeah,
I feel like
there's a
that's like
lot.
I feel like
I feel
that's
like we
super
all have
important.
that.
Yeah, when you see like the growth too, because like you don't really notice how better you're getting until you start looking at your old shit. That's what's I feel like that's what's cool about just like learning new things every day.
Yeah. Especially, but you know, there's like those videos where like top 10 mistakes amateurs make,
Oh, yeah.
and then
You do
and
like
then
all of
when
them.
you go back to your old work, it's just
It's like all 10 plus 10 more that weren't even there.
yeah.
It's crazy.
What tips do you have for somebody who's just picking up a camera like right now? Like, what would you tell them? What would be the first thing that you would say besides go to YouTube?
For like camera, like I know there's like a lot
Are,
of
like technical, like
yeah.
technical stuff, or just like
Well, no, there's a technical thing for sure. To make your camera look good, you only have to learn 4 things: just your ISO, your aperture, your shutter speed, and your white balance.
take out the chalkboard?
That's it. And once you do that, you can work with any camera. Like it doesn't, you don't need a. There's like a lot of fancy settings in there, but just those 4 things. If you're gonna do a video, just those 4 things, you gotta know them, and any camera you can make it look good.
Yeah.
And I feel like people get too caught up in like buying all this fancy equipment like that they don't need when they don't even know like the basic things of the camera.
For sure. Yeah.
So that kind of like leads me in a question that I did have. I don't pre-write a lot of questions, but this one was like like creativity versus skill in like editing and programs and stuff versus equipment. Like how would you rank those of importance in what you get? Creativity, skill, gear.
Okay, so
I feel like
you give your answer and then I'll give mine.
I feel like creativity and skill are kind of linked. So, well, I guess maybe not, but for me, it's like I never, if there's a project, I don't do anything that I know I can't do, but I know if I try to do it, I'll make it look bad. So it's like, oh, let's make a movie where there's like a dinosaur. Like, I'm not gonna make that because I know that's gonna look bad, you know.
Okay.
So it's like your skill. Your skill kind of unlocks the creativity, and so then they're like combined. At least in my eyes when I do it. And I think equipment would be last because it's definitely creativity and skill.
So skill almost caps your creativity. You mean like your creativity can take you as far as the skill?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you would have to like. Yeah. So, yeah, I agree with you. I don't really.
I feel like the equipment just
like
answers it.
And I feel like when you're looking at your range of possibilities, your impression of your skill is like the boundaries of what you feel like is possible.
Right, exactly. And you're saying everything I'm gonna say. But it's kind of like it's all about intention, and so let me just click my top back here. But it's just all about intention. If you're capped right here because of your gear, but you perform right here, then I don't know if you guys saw my hands there, but then you're good. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if you're maxing out what you can do with the gear you have, then you're good.
Yeah, I agree.
So it almost sounds like skill and gear tell you what is the maximum, and then creativity is up to you to reach that potential.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
For sure.
Yeah.
Like there's one thing when we like buy new gear, I see like there's like vertical improvement and there's like horizontal improvement. It's like horizontal improvement would be like, hey, let's buy like a new lens or like a better tripod or whatever, you know. So you're not really there's no advancement of your creativity skill of your what did you say creativity?
You're not really expanding your capacity.
Yeah, you're not. Yeah, the horizontal improvement. You're not expanding your abilities. Where a vertical improvement is something where you unlock some potential that you didn't have before. So when we try to buy something new, we try to focus on vertical improvements.
And an example of that would be, we used to shoot on Canon, and we didn't have the ability to shoot in log there. So we bought a cinema camera, and with that came a huge learning curve, because we had to learn how to color grade. We had to learn how to modify a camera to last the whole shoot. Yeah, we had to learn all these types of things. So jumping that line to cinema camera unlocked all these abilities and a necessity to improve our skill set. Yeah.
Did you buy the camera first and then learn, or did you learn prior?
Yeah. Oh, we bought the camera.
No, yeah, we bought the camera and learned. Yeah.
Did you know how much you were gonna have to learn first?
We saw that we were capped out at what. Yeah. At what the gear we had, we were capped out, and we wanted to expand what we were able to do, because we had all these new ideas, and that required to vertically.
Yeah, and then to answer your question, I think how much we had to learn. In terms of color grading, you can that can be your job in Hollywood. We're definitely nowhere near at the cap of color grading, but it was a whole new tool we had to put in our tool belt, and yeah, we're still learning it, but yeah, unlocking that new tool, and then okay, it's you get to learn if you like something or not. You get to learn if something's your passion. You unlock new potential passions.
Yeah, color grading for sure is an example of a new learned passion that I discovered that I really like. I enjoy color grading a lot, and I didn't even know. So that's an example of expanding your capacity.
Yeah. Feel it.
We didn't really answer the question, but
no, I think that did. I think it was a very thorough response. And the answer is really, it's a mixture of all three. You know what I mean? It's really hard to decide what actually is gonna
for sure
bring you up.
I do think the common belief does rely too much on equipment, though.
Yeah,
I think which might be the heart of your question too.
Yeah,
it's hard though, because you see all these creators on Instagram, right?
You go out there, you look at this new camera, red, whatever, and then YouTube is just this awesome video, and then you're just okay, what's the camera that unlocks that?
Yeah. That's kind of that same thing with I think a lot of those people, I don't want to blanket all in Instagram creatives that go out and buy really nice cameras right away, but that almost is that money grab. You know what I mean? They're very much planning this as a business rather than trying to be a creative. It's a lot of the photos look the same very same simple style, but it looks really good because of their equipment.
Right, and that kind of goes to what we were saying. You should reach the max of your current equipment, so that when you buy that equipment, you unlock something that you weren't able to do before. You shouldn't just be, I'm just gonna buy a new camera, and then you're doing the same filter on it or whatever as you were before.
Yeah. It's almost like your full potential is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's what we would do when we would shoot with Canon. All of our color was preset.
Oh, yeah, LUTs.
No, LUTs, yeah. So our next vertical improvement would be a higher end film camera that requires a larger crew to operate.
Yeah, I think we've probably reached the max with this one.
Yeah.
Dang, let's go.
So how long have you had this camera that you?
A year and a half.
Okay.
It'd be good to keep this one though, right?
Yeah, we're gonna keep. Well, we have two of these, so we're gonna.
Because now you'll have. Dang, so you get to shoot with multiple lenses. That's so cool. That's my dream. I don't even shoot videos, but I want to direct something, and I want to be able to be yo, this is the angle I want. I also want this other angle, just in case that one looks better than this one. What the fuck?
When making films or videos, you really only need 3 lenses.
Yeah.
Most directors in Hollywood have their 3 favorite lenses. It's not you need this huge arsenal of gear, but
I'd want one guy on with a handy cam, just poor quality, but just in the shots. I saw that in the what was it? The Home Alone documentary on Netflix. They were talking about how they shot that, and so some of the
Stanley.
What was that?
No, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, but some of the the shots where the people hurt themselves, the guy had to like run underneath, you know, and try and only make it so it was one take.
That's crazy.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Couldn't imagine being a director like on a real set. There's so many moving parts, especially when you look at like
Yeah.
behind the scenes.
You got to get like a natural high, just like fucking doing this.
Yeah,
shit.
like
You
an
gotta-
adrenaline rush right
yeah.
away. Like that
Yeah,
movie
well-
on Netflix, I forgot what it was called. It was like a war movie, but it was like a one take, and the guy was like strapped up in the back of like a truck. But like it was like there was like bombs going off and shit, and he was just there, just in the back of the truck. It was crazy. I forgot what movie it was though.
I have seen
Yeah,
a
that, I
movie.
think that's
1970.
yeah, it's probably 1970.
Oh yeah, 1970. I
That's
think
right
was
now,
that
yeah.
one. Yeah.
What's that movie? Birdman was also shot in only like 6 takes, or like
Yeah.
I don't know how many it was, but
I could never finish that movie. I don't know why.
Yeah. I remember.
it's very different. It's very weird.
1970 was good.
Yeah.
What kind of movies do you guys like? Like, what's your guys' like favorite like genres?
I like thriller, philosophical. Like my last favorite movie, which like was like Parasite, I guess.
Oh, Parasite was sick.
Oh,
Yeah.
Parasite was a really
Parasite.
good movie.
Yeah. Like Hereditary, Suspiria. I don't know if you guys seen those, but
Yeah, Hereditary was sick too.
They sound scary, bro.
They
I don't
are.
watch those.
You don't like horror movies? I love horror movies. Bro.
No.
I
Yeah.
love
I mean,
horror
just looking
movies.
at your guys' whole style, you can tell you guys are into some
Yeah.
freaky.
I just
freaky
love that
movies.
scene. It's so sick. It's like super weird.
Yeah.
I think Suspiria I really like. I liked it more than her. It was like Hereditary and Suspiria came out the same year. I like Suspiria more. I feel like it was like the kind of underappreciated, but
I've never
I
even
think
heard
I've
of
seen
this
that
one.
one.
I don't think
Yeah, I
I've
never
seen
heard of that
movie.
one either.
yeah, well, that's like it wasn't really that big, but
What is it called one more
It's
time?
yeah. It's I mean it's very
you had to
strong.
leave the theater, right?
Yeah, I had to leave the
You had
theater.
to leave the theater.
It was that bad?
Oh really?
Yeah. Yeah.
How come?
There's a really intense scene. I don't want to.
Oh.
Yeah,
It's
don't spoil it. I
like,
want to watch it.
it's visually
Damn.
like to
yeah, go
the
watch it.
like
It's in Amazon.
to the point where you have to ask who approved it.
Really?
It's weird that a
No.
movie
Yeah,
that makes you
yeah.
question
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
actually in
I-
theaters.
No, I mean I walked out, but I did like it. I don't mean it was a little too much for me.
Wait, did you finish it though? After like, or you
No.
never finished it? You never finished it?
No.
I want to watch it. I want to watch it now.
Yeah, watch it.
Only
Wait, what's
movie
it
I
called
ever
again?
walked
I'm
out.
writing it down.
Suspiria.
Suspiria, but there's an original and there's a
Yeah.
it's not really a remake, it's like a different iteration of the story. That's basically
It was like
it.
one is like 1960 or something. The other one came out like 2018. Those are like made up numbers, so nobody.
Yeah.
No, films that I like are just anything that looks good, really. I'm a like I like visually pleasing
Mhm.
films.
Yeah, I remember.
I don't know. Like the basics, like Stanley Kubrick. I mean Stanley Kubrick's my favorite director, but just anything that looks good, really. A lot of
Blade Runner.
yeah, Blade Runner. A lot of movies that I know took a lot of work to produce and that aged well, I would say.
It's crazy too, cause like before I even did videos, like I just looked at a movie like a regular movie. Now that I do videos and stuff, like I'll watch one, I'll be like, oh, the color grading's super sick. I like this.
Yeah.
I like how they shot this. It's like
Yeah.
it's cool.
Yeah.
I look at movies now.
Do you guys find, or Kevin, do you find that you get a lot of inspiration from like just film, or like would you catch yourself taking inspiration from either like a song or a picture you see online?
No, I think it's more of like I'm a visual learner. So like I'll get inspiration from like music videos. Like I really love documentaries. Like
Okay.
have you guys seen like the Richard, not to be like fucked up, but like the Richard Ramirez, how like the effects and like how they shot it and how everything's like put together. Like Richard Ramirez, I think there was another one. It was the one in England. But like
I
all
do
those
remember the Richard Ramirez one, yeah.
yeah, I just like how they like put everything together. Like I really I want to do that in the future, like do a documentary, but I feel like it would take more people. But like documentaries like that really inspire me. It's like
Yeah.
It's funny, yeah, it's funny you point that one out because I remember watching it and yeah, I was really impressed with the visuals, even though like the story was extremely heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Jose does do a lot on the visuals, like a lot more than me. For me, it's more like the story, the dialogue type of thing.
Yeah, how everything's like put together too. I think it's super sick.
Yeah.
I like Hot Rod. That's probably like one of my favorite movies.
All right.
It's not shot like that, but bro, like whoever wrote that, they're so good, man. They're just every scene. There's a fucking one-liner that's just hilarious, and it's absurd the entire time. Like when he's falling down like the mountain after he like crashes his bike, like
Yeah.
I
Bro,
thought it was so long
that's
ago. I
hilarious.
barely remember.
Yeah, I'm
Dude,
trying to remember
the-
the last time I saw it.
The whole
It
premise of
probably-
him fighting his dad is like the best part, or his stepdad. I always just like imagine that, like any sort of stepchild wants to fight their stepdad. And I always think about that kid. It's like, you're not my dad. And then I imagine Hot Rod.
that.
It's funny though because he's obviously an adult. Like he wasn't a kid. I think he was like he was like 18, 19 supposedly.
Have you guys ever seen Pen 15?
No.
Okay. This show where kind of like that, where it's like these adult women that play like 7th grade girls, and like it's so weird because everybody else in the school is kids, but they're like 30-year-old
Except
women
them?
playing these people. Yes, dude, it's so
That's so weird.
That's not because of the story, right? That's just like the way they casted it.
yeah,
They
they're
always
they're
do
the
that, though. It's so
writers.
weird.
So like the two girls that are old are the writers of the story, and it's like their story. So they're writing about when they were in fucking 7th grade or whatever, and they're playing themselves. But
Yeah.
everyone else is cast as their actual age. So it's very
That's actually kind of cool because like it's not problematic whatsoever. You know what I mean? Like because I'm sure there's some weird stuff that happened while they were kids, but they don't have to have a kid act it out. They could do it
Yeah,
themselves.
yeah,
That's
except
probably why they
when
did
it
it.
involves the other kids. Like
Are,
you know,
are you
Well, I
aware
didn't
that
watch
as
the
the
show.
when like is the audience aware that they're not that age in the movie, or
it's pretty
Yeah, it's
obvious.
obvious.
They're like 30-year-old women. You know what I mean? And like it's
Okay.
my mom was kind of off put by it, but I thought it was like added to the comedy of it. I thought it was hilarious.
okay,
Like it's super obvious that you know, and that nothing crazy ever happens. And I'm sure like the kids that were kids are
Yeah.
probably over 18. You know what I mean? It's not like
Do you
anything.
like comedy?
Yeah, it was like on Hulu. You know what I mean? It's not like it's.
comedy's cool. I mean,
I think we'd be super bad at comedy.
it's interesting to see what Todd Phillips did, because like he was doing Hangover, and what else did he do? It was Hangover.
Hangover 2.
Hangover 2. No, but he went from making those movies to making Joker. So
Oh, it's the same director?
yeah,
I didn't even know that. That's crazy.
yeah. So it's weird what like you never know what these guys have, like the potential is. But
Yeah.
I mean, in shooting comedy, how much of it is like cinematography versus the actual script? You know what I mean?
so most comedies are like flat visually, and a lot of the substance is within the jokes. So I would say not that much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is kind of wild.
Well, a
that
lot
he
of it's
jumped-
improv too. A lot of the time,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you just get a good
Cap.
comedian and he'll improv
Yeah.
in front of the camera for 30 minutes, and then you go edit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like Seth Rogen's whole crew or like Adam Sandler's whole crew, like that
Yeah.
it's just got to be so easy for them
I know.
to actually write.
Yeah.
They're just all shooting the shit.
Have you
Yeah,
seen
most
this?
of them are stand-ups.
Have you seen what?
This is the end.
Most of the. Oh, I talked over.
I have not.
Oh, no, you're
seen
good.
it.
You go.
This is the end is super good.
This
I
is
haven't
so
seen it,
funny.
no.
Oh, you guys haven't seen it?
What?
The end.
You haven't seen it?
It's so funny.
No,
Me
I
neither.
haven't
This
seen
is the
it.
end.
Everyone tells me it's so good that I'm really afraid to watch it, and now.
Oh, you haven't seen it either?
Nah,
They all
Dude.
play as themselves.
I
Yeah,
know.
it's really, it's
It's
funny.
so funny.
I've seen clips,
has-
but that's it.
I remember seeing the trailers when I was like a kid, but yeah. I wasn't really a kid. I don't know how old I was when it came out.
So what about you guys? What are your like favorite movies from Milk
Milk
Noise?
Noise.
Oh, us? Oh.
Yeah.
You go.
Really, I don't know. I like anything. I used to hate horror movies, but then I met Kevin, and now I
Just fucked
like
her whole
them.
life up.
But Yeah, I used to not like horror movies at all, but now I'm like intrigued by them. But the scariest movie I've ever seen that like traumatized me was The Fourth Kind. Have you guys ever watched it? You guys probably think it's like dumb,
They're like the
but
newer one, or not newer,
It's
but
not old
like
one.
okay, because there
like
one
an
came out in
alien
like the
movie.
2000s, right?
The fourth kind.
I haven't seen it. No.
The Fourth Kind.
Yeah,
Sounds
well,
familiar.
yeah, that movie traumatized me.
I'm
I
gonna have to
couldn't
watch
watch it
it.
ever again after that.
Yeah, because they
But
put like a bunch of creepy owls in it, and like
Owl.
she hates owls now. Yeah,
yeah,
they
I
have like their
hate
super
owls now
white
because of
creepy
that
owl.
movie.
Owls are kind of creepy when you see them in person. I've only seen
Yeah,
like
they're
2 owls
weird.
in
Yeah,
person.
they are.
Well,
They
their
scare
legs
me.
go all the way up. But
Oh yeah, I
Yeah, the
saw that. I
videos
saw
where
that
they like run
video.
or walk. I hate owls.
Like that.
I hate them.
Pepper spray that bitch.
Oh, I hate an owl.
You hit an owl?
Yeah, well, we were driving, like pitch black, and the owl's wings were like covered my whole front.
Oh my
Really?
god.
That's my worst nightmare.
I was
Dude,
I went to
listening
the
to a
zoo
podcast.
once. I went to the zoo once, and you know how they do like the showings where they show animals and stuff. They brought an owl out, and I was like, nope. And I like literally got up and I started walking away.
They
And
kill people.
like the show of the owl was for it to fly over the audience. So when it was flying, it looked like it was flying towards me, and I started running. Then it just came back to the show person, but I was so embarrassed. But I hate owls. I almost
Yeah.
cried. It was so embarrassing.
Their heads
hate
can
owls
rotate
so
like 360, no?
Yeah.
That's another thing. That's like
Yeah.
why? Why can they do that? What the fuck is the whole point? It's so weird just to fuck with you.
It's probably because
Their
they're
necks
like
are, like,
predator and
like-
prey, right? Something in their development allows them
Yeah,
to,
Oh, because they need to watch around. Okay.
that's so weird.
but they do have the eyes on the front of their heads.
And they have long
Yeah,
ass legs.
so
I
the
didn't
prey
even
has
know.
them on the side for a bigger field of view.
He knows a lot about animals.
That's tight. What are your guys' favorite animals? Let's just get into more favorites.
Let's do
Oh,
it.
I like an octopus.
Oh damn.
Mine's a dolphin.
Those are aliens, bro. I feel
Well,
like
those are like
aliens.
two of the smartest animals just off the board.
Yeah, that's just
Octopus
crazy.
and dolphin.
Yeah.
What's mine?
Got you, Mike.
Oh, we wouldn't know, bro.
I know. I'm trying to. I was like, I'm talking to myself in my head. Like, what's? It's a shark, but like, I think. Have you guys heard of a red panda?
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Those
They're, like,
are
small,
so
right?
cute. Yeah, they're like they have like I think they're red and then they have like white and black stripes. They kind of look like raccoons, but they're cute.
Yeah.
They're super cute.
But right now, mine is a raccoon. I think they're misrepresented.
Have you seen the video of the fat dude feeding the raccoons? Like a bunch of raccoons come up to him and he starts feeding them. They're all super
Oh.
fat.
Yeah,
Oh
I
my.
think I've seen that actually.
Well, they have like fat. I guess that they look like squares.
You walk like this.
I know.
I like the video where it's just like they like go look in the dumpster and there's like fucking 40 of them.
Oh yeah.
I was
Oh
like,
yeah.
oh
that
my
video is
god.
badass.
And
Yeah,
I
like
think raccoons are cool. They're really cool, like animated characters, like in Guardians of the Galaxy or what was
Yeah.
it, like Over the Hedge, like a raccoon or something.
Oh
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like them.
Guardians of the Galaxy. That's a raccoon.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
What's his
Rocket?
name?
Yeah.
Rocket.
Rocket. Yeah,
Rocket.
Rocket is yeah.
I love Guardians
Don't
of the
call him that.
Galaxy.
Don't call him that though.
Don't call him that. though.
Why?
You'll
No,
pull
don't
out
call him a
rocket on
raccoon.
Oh no. Yeah.
I'm trying to think. What's my favorite animal? I've always liked like apes and monkeys, like gorilla type
Oh.
shits.
gorillas scare the
I've
fuck
always
out
thought
of
they
me.
were so cool.
Dude, they're
Oh,
so
I would
ripped.
never go by them. Hell no.
They're so naturally ripped. It scares the shit out of me. Have you seen them fight? Like at the zoos?
Yeah, they're like
They
they're
fuck each other up,
I-
bro.
actually okay. So this brings up
Oh, I
a
saw-
question from a podcast that we had. All right, so you have the biggest possible gorilla that you can get, so like a silverback gorilla, right? Versus the biggest possible bear that you can get, which is like a Kodiak bear or something. Which one do you think's actually like walking away from a fight if they had to fight?
The bear. 100%.
The
The bear.
gorilla.
Okay, I want to hear reasoning for both.
You guys go first.
I need some time.
No, it's the bear.
It's the bear, because the
I
bear
think
can
the
only
bear 'cause they
stand
have
up.
claws too.
Claws
I
are
think.
big.
Well, I think the gorilla can take more damage.
No.
And you can move around faster and just fucking put him in a chokehold real quick.
No, gorillas are smarter though.
And they can punch too. Like they can they have more mobility. I
So
feel like
are you
bears can just,
changing your
I feel
answer
like-
right now?
If you go in that fight punching, it's a losing game. You gotta.
Yeah, that's my thing.
Well, that's the thing I always say. I'm just
You gotta. You're gonna win by bites.
by bites in the bear.
Yeah. Well, actually, a gorilla does have like one of the strongest bite forces of all
Oh, they have
animals.
like huge fangs too.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But I think, like, for me, what it comes down to and why I think it's a bear is, like, gorillas are kind of, like, lazy. They don't, like, hunt. You know what I mean? That a lot of it is, like, vegetation that they eat, whereas a bear is killing every single meal it's got to eat.
Yeah.
It's getting used to taking big animals down. I feel like it's done it.
Isn't that crazy though? They eat just fucking fruits and bananas and shit like that, and they're all fucking brawling. They're
Massive.
so huge. It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, imagine you just lived outside and you had to go find your food every day and, like,
A bunch of cardio.
just build shelter, move
Yeah.
around. We'd all be ripped, dude. Cavemen
Yeah.
were fucking ripped.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah. I
But
can't
yeah.
even drive 10 minutes to the gym. I'm gonna start working out with the gorillas, start
Yeah.
hunting with them and shit.
Nah. I haven't like worked out seriously since like high school. I was like on sports teams. Not life anymore.
Nah. I did football freshman year, and I was like, nah, fuck this.
Trash.
Fuck
I
it.
did
track.
I did football the whole time.
All 4
No.
years.
What
Yeah,
position
and
did you play?
I was
didn't
never
know
good.
this.
I was never good.
I
We're
was
not
never
gonna
good
go that
either.
far.
You were a
I
receiver?
remember they
but, like,
kicked. I don't know what it's called, but when is it a point return? But they kicked it off to us, and I went for it, and I dropped it, and I was like, "Fuck this
Oh,
shit!" I
like-
fell
like
and
a kick
everything. My
return.
balance was all off. Like never again.
How people think like I always see people tweeting stuff about how like they could be the quarterback of a team and be better. You know, I'm like, dude, there's no
Yeah, I know.
professional athletes.
Yeah,
Bro, those athletes are gonna they're so fast.
that's why. All that conditioning too, bro. It's crazy.
Over 200 pounds coming at you? Hell
Fuck
no.
that. It's like a fucking silverback gorilla coming at you too.
So
For real.
like that's why I never like decided I was gonna start when I was in high school, because like there was a moment I wanted to play, right? Like I was like, oh, I'm gonna make it, you know, I'm gonna make it to the NFL one day. You know, I had one of those dreams. And then like we started hitting each other. Yeah, I was like, bro,
You
like
got
in 10
fucking
years,
cracked.
man, if in 10 years, like this shit is not gonna be worth it. Like,
Yeah.
if I don't make it to the NFL, which the likelihood is very unlikely, nah. So then I stopped taking it that seriously. But I
Yeah.
enjoyed the conditioning, so I kept that up.
Yeah, it keeps you
My
in shape.
sports life peaked in like 4th grade. So.
Would you
Yeah.
play like some
Where
baseball,
I
soccer?
made 2 goals in 1 soccer game. That was my
Hey.
peak.
You're like, Mom, I made it. That's it. I'm done with school. I'm gonna be a
Dude,
soccer
mine was 7th grade when I caught an infield fly ball.
Let's go.
That was it.
I feel like
I quit sports to make videos.
It's sick.
That's not true.
I'm gonna think my like best like school sports moment was probably like in golf.
Oh,
I
I'm
had a
gonna
golf
go.
team too.
Yeah, you're good.
At where? At beer pong?
Ping pong.
Oh, ping pong.
Yeah.
Was that like like an actual school thing, or did you just play
No,
ping
no,
pong?
no.
Okay.
My dad bought a ping pong thing. We had it in our garage. Me and my
Fire.
brother would like for summer like.
That's like
They
one
were
of the
like the
things I get
little-
most competitive about whenever I see a ping pong table somewhere.
I know.
Like, dude, I want to play so bad.
Well, it takes me like 3 games to warm up though. So the first game I'm like garbage, and then 3 games in.
Yeah. You just gotta go back and forth for a second till you're ready.
Me and Maria are beer pong champions. We're undefeated.
Yeah, undefeated. Like
We're
as a
undefeated.
duo.
Yeah, as a duo, we're
As a
undefeated.
duo.
We're pretty good.
How long you been playing beer pong? You don't have to tell me how
2
old you
years.
are now.
Probably like 2 years.
Okay.
I don't know, it's just like a cool, fun little drinking
Yeah.
game.
So for one of those years, we were in a pandemic and you couldn't play.
Oh yeah, we didn't play. No.
They developed their skills over the
Okay.
Now we're probably
Yeah,
fucking
Okay.
against each
trash.
other.
You
I
guys.
know.
Okay. I've
That's an endless game.
I've mentioned like a future housewarming party whenever I move. I'm gonna invite you guys and we're gonna play beer pong.
Do it.
I
Okay.
want to see the
Keep that streak
goatness. Yeah, everybody that's been on the podcast, I'm gonna
Yeah,
be the outlet party and then we're gonna live stream that and put my camera.
That'd be sick.
Nobody underage.
I don't ever want to have to make content. Like, I like the podcast because we get to meet people and interview them. But I don't ever want to be a content-based like thing.
What do
Like,
you
that
mean?
sounds hard, bro.
Oh, like YouTube?
Like if
Oh,
we had
you
a
mean like
vlog, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah, I get you.
Vlog.
Well, I feel like that would
sounds
be
exhausting.
simple, man. We wouldn't fucking do anything except for mic the building.
Or you could just get like someone to film you and just go follow you all day and shit. That'd be cool too.
Ray, if you're in the chat, I know you're in here every day.
That's kind of like the move nowadays too. It's crazy with YouTube. Like people don't really like film themselves anymore. They have like a team or some shit now. Like Mr. Beast, like his production team is fucking crazy.
I don't understand how that dude operates. Like, how
Dude,
much
I don't
money
know.
is he making from YouTube that
So
he can
much, but then
give
his videos
out
take
so
a lot,
much
too.
money?
No, he's the highest earning creator on YouTube.
Right, but
So-
he gives out so much. So like, what
Yeah,
he's
dude.
making has to be
He's fucking loaded.
insane. And he's paying a
Yeah,
whole
and-
team. Like, holy shit.
I would say he's probably making 10x what he's giving away.
Including like paychecks? Or
Yeah,
like, oh
for sure.
God. That's
Yeah.
crazy. He'd be dropping
I mean,
like
you have to
thousands of
think of the amount.
dollars.
Yeah, because all the people in his videos, they're his friends, but they're like actually like working for him and shit. It's like an actual
Yeah, they have
job.
salaries.
Hmm
Yeah,
That's where I want to be one day. I want to be able to pay all the homies.
I know. It'd be sick.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
I like these corporate companies paying you like $10 an hour and shit.
They'll pay a creative team though to shoot like a corporate event, like a lot of
Yeah.
money.
Oh
So
really?
it just depends on how you want to make your money off of corporate
Yeah.
America.
Yeah.
You could
You gotta
could
swindle 'em.
definitely
Finesse them real quick.
like it kind of sounded like when you guys first started talking about how you guys started working with DJs. You guys were in reality that was like you guys like getting like cold calling almost,
Yeah.
you know, like because you're trying to get leads and you're trying to get someone to agree to do something,
Yeah.
and it's not until they actually pay you when like that deal's done. So
Yeah.
in a way, you guys are like salespeople and business people trying to like entrepreneurs, you know, trying to do what
Yeah.
you guys do. So I think if you guys keep going and build like a reel, you know, and keep like putting like being business minded, I think
Yeah.
it could be a thing where that's what you do full time.
That's
If
the move, man.
that's something you want to do that full time and like still have time to be creative, you know, in your art.
Yeah. I feel like that's just like the end goal at the end of the day. Like not having to work for somebody else. Just like being your own boss. You get to do whatever the fuck you want. Wake up whenever you want. Like just bust your ass off for yourself, not for somebody else, you know? But it's all temporary.
I work at a small marketing agency, and we have a graphic designer that works there. And then also to like just being friends with Christian, and now he's working at his second graphic design job.
Oh,
But
that's
he
sick.
has like no school experience. Like seeing
Yeah.
that happen, like I think it's possible for anyone in like who's a creative like you guys to get a job
Yeah.
doing the thing that you guys are passionate about. You just gotta like be professional about it. And I don't
Yeah.
think you guys aren't. That's not what I mean by that. I just think like you gotta develop a goal, create, you know, portfolio, and just present yourself like professionally. Like
Yeah.
take yourself seriously.
Yeah.
Because
No,
like how you gonna expect someone to take you seriously unless like, you know, like they have a good first impression on you,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which kind of sucks that you had to do that,
I
but it
know.
is what it is.
Yeah.
Wait, do what?
They're saying like market yourself professionally, and so you can build a good reputation, so you can go to X and like sell yourself.
Yeah, because like there's a lot of people in the creative scene other than you guys, you know,
Right.
but you guys take your guys' self seriously. You move like with a business mindset, you know, and not everyone thinks that way.
Yeah.
And how old are you guys? You guys have been doing it for how long now? Like how long you guys been shooting videos?
8 years. Right.
Yeah, well, like if you count like all the way back.
8 years. The business portion and like the professional like, portion of it was like kind of new, but it was something that we knew we had to develop for sure.
Well, my first paid job was like probably like 4 years ago.
4 years ago. Okay.
But before I became like a legit business was like two and a
Yeah.
half years ago.
We kind of had to figure out 3 separate revenue streams to fund the actual vision of the company. So it's about positioning yourself to execute your goal. Yeah, and part of that was to present ourselves professionally.
Yeah.
So like, how did that happen though? Like, how did you decide? Because you said you've been doing it for 8 years, and you've only been doing it like with a business approach for the last 2. Like, when did that switch flip? Did it just like, was it like, yo, I'm gonna do this for real, or was it like you writing down a list of goals and determining like, yo, this is what I'm gonna need to do in order to get there?
For me, it was more like a crossroads where it was either go to film school or start this, and I chose start this. But yeah, that's what the decision was.
Better investment, I think.
Yeah, unless you got school paid for,
Yeah.
Yeah.
or you're gonna be like
Well,
a highly specialized thing.
Yeah. I what's it called? So yeah, I actually got my school paid for.
Yeah.
So I went for school for something else. But I did it as like pretty much as like a backup. So but for me it was like where it was just like you just had to make the decision. Like this is what you want, and then once you make that decision, it was like just go in basically.
Yeah, I feel you. I like also went to school. Like I had the same reason. I had it all paid for, and like the way I was raised, my mom, there's just like a not even an expectation, just like you're not gonna be able to live life until you get this piece of paper type deal.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I did, and then like when I got to school is when I realized I didn't want to do school. You know what I mean? Like up until that point, I was smart, I was good at school, so like I figured it was an obvious next step. And then immediately once I got into like university, it was just like, no, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
But it was paid for, so I like wrote it out.
Well, yeah. Well, one thing for me was when it looked like it became monetarily sustainable.
Yeah.
That's when I was able to put my chips like into that basket, you know.
Yeah. I feel you. I think my mom's just a teacher, so like she was more worried about the actual education part than me like making a lot of money, getting a good job or anything like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I always knew I could make money other ways. You know what I mean?
Yeah. When I went to school for things that I was interested in, so it wasn't like I wouldn't take it back.
I'm with you.
How long did you guys go to school for, or college?
4 years.
Yeah.
Oh, you graduated?
Yeah. Well, no. So I kind of like I'm a graduate right now, which like in like a few weeks. Yeah.
Oh, tight. Congrats.
Ooh, congrats, man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What did you like? What's your degree, if you don't mind sharing?
So it's physics and philosophy.
Oh, you're super
Oh,
smart.
big brain, you coming back on the pod.
Can't even spell.
But yeah, like nothing to do with.
Yeah, mine was economics and business, so like kind of roughly like learning how to operate a business is very helpful in what I plan to do, but it's not like I'm gonna be
I think the philosophy did help me with like, because philosophy is just like ideas basically, which helped me with like stories and like scripts.
Also, I think more artists should be operating as business people. Just as a general statement. Like, I feel like artists should have CEOs.
They should be CEOs, or they should have.
They should have CEOs.
Okay, so like hire like a manager type deal.
Yeah. I think if you want to take this seriously and like you want to do it for a living, you need to operate as such in the way where you kind of have to rearrange your priorities, I would say. But I don't know, I'm probably just rambling, but
No, I agree with you. I think as an artist, the less hats you wear, the better your art will be. The less shit you have to worry about besides the actual art, it's gonna come through.
Yeah. That's why like artists have like touring managers, like agencies, like, 'cause they don't want to deal with none of that like business bullshit. They just want to fucking make music, create their art and then just that's it. So yeah.
Kind of curious, how did you guys all get your like company names? Or I know you two kind of like operate under, I don't like saying IG names because I can't think of like what it's actually called. But, like your moniker, like Blue and KIIROWOLF. Like, how did you guys come
Yeah.
up with those?
With Blue, I'm bad at names, dude. Like I'm like, oh, I need a name for this, and I'll spend weeks just trying to figure it out. I get so stressed out. But I think Blue just like it just popped up in my head. Like literally just like I was like in the middle of bed. I think I was about to go to sleep and I was like, I thought of it and I just wrote it down. And that shit's been my handle since like freshman year of high school.
So is it Blue, and then World of Blue is just like the handle that you
Yeah,
chose?
World of Blue is just like the thing,
Okay.
but it's just Blue.
World of Blue used to be a brand, right? For a minute.
No, it was I named it Planetary Beings.
Planetary Beings.
Yeah. That was like freshman year of high school. Yeah, I've been trying to do a brand for years, man, but trying to do it with other people that weren't really like taking it seriously is kind of like that's what stopped me. So I feel like when you, yeah, go ahead.
No, you had a vision. Just I don't want to interrupt it.
No, yeah, I was just saying like I don't know, you know what you want like at the end of the day, and like other people aren't in the same wavelength, and like just run with it yourself, you know.
Yeah, that's pretty. We don't really put an emphasis on a brand. We kind of just want people to know us for the content. But like Noche Americana, it's a process of shooting something in the day and making it look like it was nighttime in post. And so for me, like I love the start to finish process of filmmaking. It's taking something that's nothing and making it something. So Noche Americana kind of encapsulates that idea, the process of making something that was shot in the day, something that was night. So I thought it sounded nice, and we just went ahead and went with that. And I like how iconic the word North America is. So I felt like it was like catching. So that's why we went.
It sounds super cool. It's in Spanish too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted something in Spanish too. Yeah.
And I definitely like both the names. Even like MILKNOISE in itself makes you just think, and you're not gonna forget it.
Yeah.
Like that's
That was the goal with that name.
It's just to make it like stick in your head. It wasn't like nothing like meaningful or anything. Just something
like
weird. Thank you, man.
Yeah, we literally were just hanging out and we were talking about, because before we were MILKNOISE, like we were doing our own thing, and we were just like how come we don't do it together, you know? Like he does more of the video parts, I do more like the pictures, and he does pictures too. And we're just thinking about like us being a duo and coming up with a random name, and we were just saying like random names together. Yeah, like random stuff. And then yeah, once we said MILKNOISE, like I was kind of like that kind of sticks to your head. And then when we ran with it, like a lot of people like complimented it, and they would say the same thing. Yeah, like it's just random, but it sounds good together, and it does stick to your head once you like hear it or say it.
It's crazy too. It's like lyrical lemonade. Like it's just like random things that kind of like they kind of have to make sense, but not at the same time. Just like they kind of just like stick in your head. And I feel like if you have like a good little like branding behind it, then it just makes it pop more. But I feel like a lot of like companies do that shit.
picking the name is very important.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
That's like step one.
Yeah, no, because like that's why people come up with pen names, bro. Like what you operate under is very important. Like what you're called, what you're referenced as. That's like the first impression for most people. Like, have you seen this movie Hereditary? That's their first impression instantly. It's like the name. You know? So having that good name is very important, I think. What about
steering off topic? This is a question for Kevin and Maria, but why did you choose to market yourself as a company? I don't know if you do actually, but if you do, why did you choose that rather than marketing yourself as a duo?
Like Maria and Kevin.
Yeah. Well, not like Maria and yeah, sort of.
I feel like
I'm sorry. The reason I bring this up is because I think nowadays people trust individuals more than companies.
Yeah.
So that was the thing I was debating with whether we market ourselves as a company or a duo, and we wanted to be more professional, so we were a company. But like, what was like your reasoning?
It's a really
You wanna
good
go?
question.
You can go ahead. You can answer.
I feel like we market ourselves as a company, but like if we introduce ourselves like as a duo, just because I don't know. I feel like at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter because it's like I don't know, like you guys know, like the work speaks for itself, you know. Like they're not really gonna like look at like those types of things, but I feel like just the work itself just speaks for itself.
I feel like people like in our page too, like it says that we are a duo. We just don't put our names. The other thing too is just there's um like yeah, like how he said, like we people know us as Milk Noise or just Kevin and Maria. And if we do meet up with them, we like they do introduce us like, oh, they know that this is duo is Milk Noise. And sometimes it's interesting, kind of off topic, but there was an instance once where a lot of people don't know that it's one female and one male in the duo, like for Milk Noise. People just assume it's two guys,
You guys
working
are
on
like,
yeah.
yeah,
So it's interesting for that too, because there's also an instance where we had a shoot for a DJ, and they introduced us as Milk Noise, but I was completely avoided. Like he just introduced himself to
yeah.
Kevin, and the DJs were so it was the DJs with us, and then another DJ, and he was introducing us to him, and he said hi to Kevin, but he like completely ignored me. Like I had to introduce myself, like, hey, yeah, like I'm also part of Milk Noise, like my name's Maria, and like I introduced myself. But it's just interesting on that in that aspect too, because I feel like there's not a lot of females in that like in this space of creative like photography or videography and stuff, which kind of sucks, but that's also why I didn't want to put as Maria and Kevin, just because it's like it's cool to like people don't know that it's a female and a male.
It's kind of like anonymous too.
Yeah,
That's
it's kind
that's
of
like the other aspect I like of it. We're kind of like anonymous until you actually like meet us, and it's like, oh shit, okay.
yeah, and like I want people to want to work with us because of our work, not because they see who we are and like we like I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain. Like in our page, we don't have pictures of both of us. It's just pretty much just work. And we share that with everybody. But yeah, I think
Yeah, like we never like properly introduced like us into Milk Noise. We just
it's
started
kind of
posting all of our
anonymous
work.
unless you
Yeah,
know
that's what's
us.
kind of cool
Yeah,
about it.
like
Oh,
mhm.
okay.
Is it like that on your website as well, or do you guys have a bio there on like who the duo?
um
No, I think we have our names in the thing. I think
yeah,
it says where we're.
even when we send emails too, we say like it's a duo.
Yeah.
And we do say our names too, like oh it's Kevin and Maria. So people do know us by our name too.
I'm curious, what was when you like introduced yourself and like almost corrected them, be like, yo, like I'm also Milk Noise, by the way. What was their reactions?
Yeah, what was that?
It looked like he didn't care. Honestly, I think that was like the most like weirdest thing ever. Doing this kind of work was just like that one time that stuck with me because I was like, that's crazy. Like he didn't, he like completely ignored me.
It's kind of
But
like
that was cool too. Yeah, it was kind of cool because I was like, well, yeah, like you know what? I'm actually part of Milk Noise too. And when we started working with him, like I was doing the work too. But I don't know. It was just an interesting interaction. But other than that, I don't think I've ever had any other problems or like weird altercations like that. But I don't know, it's just interesting.
I feel like that's the annoying part though of like working, like mostly working with like artists and shit. Cause like I don't know, man. Some people are just like super shitty, and then like you'll see their brand, they're all squeaky clean or this and that, or you kind of get this image of like what they are, but then when you really meet them, it's like, oh, you're a shit person, man. So I feel like that's like the downfall of it all.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of cool though, because you get that sneak peek into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you have this
Mhm.
thing that automatically is like can throw a red flag for you.
Yeah, just
I
like
kind of
first
fuck with that.
impressions all the time.
That's like why, like, not to say that I wanted Trump as my president. I in no way did, but knowing who was for that shit, that's like wearing something on your chest that just tells me who you are and what you're about.
Yeah.
And like the
Yeah.
quicker I learn that shit, the better for me. Like
Yeah, like after that with that specific person, like we never worked with him again. Just because the whole like other than that, the whole experience working with him was just like really weird.
Oh yeah, I want to tell that story too, especially Jose and I didn't get your name. My bad. Jose
Robert.
and Robert.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like, have you ever guys experienced something where you like take the time, you edit the video, you have it all ready, and you send it over, and they kind of like mess with it instead of kind of like asking you, can you change these type of things? Can you do this? Can you do that? Like, have you ever guys like ran into that? Because this is what happened with that specific person. I was like so pissed. That's why we never worked with them again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have experienced that.
I think that's like really.
It's like they're just
It
shitting on your.
sucks
Yeah,
because
like
you take all your time and stuff, and like you know they pay for it too, so you want to make sure that they like it. And we've had like some situations where the person would like we repost our stuff and put like an Instagram filter or
oh
add
my
like
God, that itches me
add
so
something
bad.
on it that makes our work not look like our work
It's like
anymore.
garbage, yeah. And then you just tag our name on it, just like because we took the picture, but in reality, you're just bashing it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's hard because I mean, as the creator of the product, you're taking on an approach as like an artist, but they see it as a service. And when you deliver the final product, I'm assuming that their thought process is, I own this now, I can do whatever I want to it. Which is fine, I think. But if you want to, I don't know, because for me, it's not offensive, but it is also like, why do you ruin it?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
It's kind of like they don't trust the output.
Yeah.
So it is a bit.
Another expectation that.
Well, for me, it's kind of like, so they'll like want to change something, and I would prefer that they tell us, hey, can you change
Yeah.
this?
Yeah, same here.
You could do it and make it look good, but then they do like their crappy version of it, and like if you're invested in the project, you're just like, oh, you ruined it. Basically.
Yeah. And then the sucky part was that he posted it and everything. Like he didn't tell us anything. We watched it, and then I was like, "What are you doing?" And I had to message him and like everything. But
yeah.
Have you implemented certain like contracts to prevent that?
No, we learned that the hard way. But
Okay.
like we definitely learned from that. That was like when we first started MILKNOISE.
Yeah.
But ever since that, like we did talk about that, and that's how we learned about having to have that contract and putting those certain things in there.
Yeah.
But yeah.
that's smart. It's wild because like I've always been like really for contracts anytime I do business. It's because like when I was little, I would like make deals with my mom or some shit like to get some shit I wanted, and I never wanted it to just be like, oh no, that didn't happen or that wasn't said. So I was making contracts when I was like 8 years old. I would type up shit, we'd both sign it.
I remember that. I would do. They would like okay, like I'll give you like $1 if you clean your room or whatever. We get that in writing.
Yeah, dude, same.
Sign here, please.
and then my mom would flip it on me too. Sometimes I would say I would do some shit that like I probably wasn't gonna do, and she's like, "All right, sign here." And I'd be like, "Fuck, all right." So the contract has been real for me forever. So I'm glad you guys are doing that.
That's cool.
And make sure you keep them. I have like
Yeah.
real contracts still, like like a document folder.
Yeah, Tannen definitely came in clutch. Like when I first started working with Slater, we would do shit, right? One of the first shows Tannen ever like came to, like on the flyer, I put that I was gonna charge, and everyone was already in the venue, right? So that means in order to get payment, I had to kick everyone out the venue real quick to do it.
And this man's was gonna
Tannen,
let everyone
like,
just chill. There was like at least like 30 people there.
Yeah, for sure. They pay like, and I paid for everything, so it made sense to charge these fools, so I can at least pay for the cost, you know, like for the night, the event space, and the actual equipment to put on the show. And I was like because I kind of had to do it, like I didn't want to be the bad guy. So Tana's like, nah, bro, you put it on the flyer. They came here, like, so we kicked everyone out, and then he ended up doing it. And from then on, like, he always like instilled professionalism and like like I never cared about none of that shit.
I know,
I was just
yeah.
like, yo, people come, like that's it. That's all I
Yeah.
want. I just want people to be there.
I don't know. I just saw it as like, number one, they did show up to this thing that we marketed as costing money. You know what I mean? So they
Yeah.
already are aware. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And then second, I believed in what you were doing. So when I believe in something that someone's doing, I think that they deserve the recognition and like the, what's the right word? Like reciprocation.
The
Which was
proper
like
business.
$2, dude. That show was like $2-3, nothing
Yeah,
crazy.
like-
Yeah.
So I was like, nah, man, that's not gonna.
Was anyone like butthurt? Or no?
I remember nobody like left or didn't come to the show, but this one kid was like, "Damn, bro, I really got to pay it," and I was like, "Dude, it's like $3,
$3,
yeah." And he's like, "All right, let me go to my car." He gets a fucking pocket full of change, dude, just like counting out dimes and nickels to me. I'm just like,
Jesus
"Oh,
Christ.
dog, all right, whatever."
I
Yeah.
think that's a good trait too, like in the business, like being able to stand your ground.
Yeah,
Like
Yeah.
that's what like when like a lot of like shy people come into it, like something prepared to do. Yeah, it's kind of something you have to learn to do.
yeah. I think it was because it wasn't the first show, you know what I mean, and there had been plenty of free shows.
Yeah, the plenty.
You know what I mean?
Plenty, at least 5.
It's not like we were in
I
it.
know I miss those.
Like, I don't know. I feel like my contribution has always been that more like business side of it.
Professional.
I'm not
aspects.
in it to make money, but I understand that's a very important tool to access to
Yeah.
be able to do what we want to do.
Yeah, and it just keeps you
So-
like making new shows and shit like that too.
Yeah. So like I don't do video work, but I think something I learned while doing all that was how to market something and just kind of understand what it was. Like not keywords or anything yet, right? And then I did get a job that eventually like kind of tied it all together and like learned the keywords, learned the devil's work of social media marketing, and I was able to get a job in that because I just understood it because that's what we did. We posted organically. Like I see you, Jose, doing that with your brand, the playground, right? That's what it's called.
Yeah, we're trying to do organic growth.
Yeah. So you got to post, right? You got to make it. You got to make something eye catching. You got to make it. You got to share it with your group with the people, your network. Your social media account to try and
Right.
get it to be built organically. And so like
Yeah.
you're slowly learning that, and I'm sure I know you pay for ads. I've seen ads from Noche Americana.
Yeah, we've run a
Americana.
couple campaigns.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I see you messing around with that. But that's a skill, dude. That's for sure a skill. So I don't know what your
Yeah.
current job is, but you should write that shit all down as part of your resume cuz
Yeah.
like people will pay.
Yeah. Well, when we
We're
did those
testing.
ads,
Yeah, we're testing a lot of different things
yeah,
right now.
we saw them as experiments to
Yeah.
like refine our like ad settings, I guess.
Yeah, because I mean, we want to launch digital products, so it's a skill set that we're trying to grow. Yeah.
One recommendation is ideal to like not make the video longer than 15 seconds. And
It's a good one.
you need to make like this you need to make a version like for feed and for story, so that way it'll like look the best on both.
Yeah.
So when you're actually creating the ad out, you put them in as different sizes. If you didn't already know that, that's just like some best practices.
Yeah, that's good input.
Yeah, I fell in love with that like vertical thing on Instagram. I've been doing it for like 3 years now. I feel like it just makes it pop more when you like if you're gonna upload a video on the feed, like just make it vertically because it will like catch people's attention more instead of like
For
having it like,
sure.
horizontally.
Yeah.
We needed to do that.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
a little different for us because like the video is getting recorded in landscape.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that's true.
yeah. Because when
Well,
I
that's-
shoot, yeah,
I mean, there's stuff we could do in like Premiere. We could do it. It's just more work.
yeah.
Mm.
Well, I was curious to see what would happen with Quibi because all their content is vertical. Like, it completely just failed. So
Hmm.
there's but I mean the most successful like vertical platform is TikTok. So I'm trying to get into that because it's probably like the most useful tool right now.
Yeah, and their algorithm is
Their
crazy.
algorithm, yeah.
It's just crazy.
Yeah,
So
well, I was
good.
thinking of that as like Instagram's gonna be the Facebook and like
Yeah,
years.
it's already like
Mhm.
everything's an ad or it's like a sponsored thing now. It's so annoying.
It's it's because
Yeah.
Instagram is Facebook.
Yeah.
They are
Yeah,
the
it
same.
is.
They're
It's,
one.
yeah.
Well, TikTok's cool because like if your video is dope, like it's gonna perform well.
Mhm.
That's really all it is. Um, I don't know if you guys are familiar with how it works, but it'll show your video to at least 100 people, and if it performs well with those 100 people, it'll move up a tier. It'll show it to 1,000. If it performs well there, it'll move it up to 5,000, and that's how you'll make a viral video.
Wait, every single post gets guaranteed shown to 100 people
Yeah.
that aren't your followers, or like
Yeah, guaranteed 100 people, and like I don't know what the percentage is, but if it performs well, it'll move on to the 1,000 tier, and if it dies off there, then they won't promote it anymore.
Damn, that's cool.
Yeah,
it's efficient.
and I think it's probably the best algorithm I've heard of. It only shows the best of the best.
YouTube has a really good one, but it's very like you have to like find your way into it, and then once you're into it, it fucking carries you.
Well, Reddit is probably the most like democratic one.
Votes.
Oh,
Yeah,
upvote.
yeah.
I've never been on Reddit.
It's cool. It's not for everyone.
Yeah.
You can find. It's just like a
Anything.
message board. You know what I mean? So there's message boards
Oh.
about everything. You can find communities for
Yeah, it's like
anything that's
everything
going on.
there.
So your favorite video game, your favorite food, your favorite fast food restaurant. There's probably a subreddit where you guys can talk about the new fucking McRib that came out or something. You know what I
Sick.
mean? Like it is really cool in that
Marketing
sense.
tips too.
Yeah, and it's anything like anything you can think of. There's probably a board on it, and there's people contributing to it. Or you
What's
can
it?
make it.
Dude, actively. Like the other day, I had to do something for work, and I didn't know like what the fuck it was that I had to fix. So, like I just asked this fucking forum, and like within 2 hours, they responded, and I was surprised because it's not like I'm a frequent contributor. It's just I needed an answer, and I couldn't Google search it. Like I didn't know what keywords I had to put into the Google search to find an answer. So
I hate when that
hopefully-
happens. I get so mad. You
That's
start
when you
typing sentences and shit.
It's crazy because like you bring up how you don't really know the keywords to Google, and like my mom doesn't really ever know keywords to Google. She like doesn't really know how to Google shit. She's like,
Yeah,
I can
well,
never
yeah.
get the same shit to pop up that you do. Dude, your kids are gonna be crazy Googlers. That's just gonna be. They're gonna get everything instant.
That's what I was telling Maria. You know how kind of we're like in the like start and peak of the internet,
I wouldn't
but
say
then
peak, but
not peak, but like we're kind of like we're flowing. With
we're
it.
in it. Yeah, we're
Yeah,
definitely
and then
in
our
it.
parents are kind of like struggling a little bit. Well, my parents,
Yeah.
my parents like struggle a little bit with it. You think when we're parents in the future will be the same way, or you think we'll be like with the times, or you just
think it
depends
depends.
on the person?
Yeah, I think it depends on what your job is. You know what I mean? Like what you're actually doing with your life. But I think the next big leap for internet is like virtual rooms, like virtual
Yeah.
chat rooms,
Like virtual
that type-
reality and shit
yeah.
like that. Yeah.
I
Or a
read
decentralized internet.
Yeah.
a big problem old people have is like like with your with your settings, like you go into like general, then you go into like storage or whatever. So we can imagine as like going into rooms, but they can't imagine that architecture. So when you say go back to them, it doesn't really make sense because they don't imagine like a room. It's just a different page, and they
Yeah.
don't see them. They
Yeah.
don't see them.
dude. I used to work for this call center called Consumer Cellular, and like the job was like tech, like just like an IT dude for someone's cell phone but it was like this really cheap service that was like marketed towards older people, who need a phone but don't really have a lot of money to spend on one. So like they would get new iPhones. They've never had a phone before, and I gotta like walk them through the process of resetting their phone or resetting like their networks.
Dude,
And so
that's
like what you just
Sorry.
described fucking happen every day, 50 times a
Oh.
day.
yeah. I feel like that's what like the dude, don't touch it. We're disconnected.
We hear
Can
you
still
guys.
hear us?
Yeah, we can still
Yeah.
hear you.
Okay. Oh, I feel like that's what Best Buy is like. Like when I go there, like since I'm kind of like tech savvy, like I have a legit problem, and they keep on giving me problems that like, oh, did you check your settings to see if your Wi-Fi's on? I'm like, it's like there's nothing made for I feel like the call centers are all like that. You
Yeah.
gotta go to Reddit for anything serious.
That's real.
The Genius Bar.
There should be a service where you have like a certain level of certification on this service, so like they know who they're dealing with already,
Yeah.
and then they can help you for anything that's like you've already knocked out all the obvious.
Yeah.
Well, the next generation is probably gonna need that too.
Yeah, that's true. I'm kind of excited to be like older and see how I am keeping up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't think I'll be.
My kids will
left
do
in
it
the
for me.
dust. Yeah, but that's how you get left in the dust, dude. You gotta learn it yourself.
Exactly.
Hey, as long as I'm happy, bro, I don't need to be connected.
Yeah, I mean, my grandparents are happy fucking watching TV. They don't need the
Yeah.
internet, dude.
It's because when you're little, you like dream about like a virtual reality Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Oh,
And-
dude, I
And
can't
then
wait.
like when I was little, I was scared of getting old to where like I didn't care about it, so then I never experienced it. I don't know if that'll happen, but you know.
Like what I'm imagining, which is something that I've always wanted to do in VR, is like eventually like a waterproof VR suit, and I can go into like an Olympic sized pool or something that's like 20 foot deep, and then like simulate that I'm actually swimming around in the ocean.
Oh, fuck that.
And like,
Scary.
well, but like nothing's gonna
Ah,
get you. You're in a
no.
pool, dude.
You're
You're in a
crazy.
pool.
Still, that's scary.
How many
Oh, that would
swimming
be so
games are there?
fire. I mean, you could code it to not like actually scare you. You know what I mean? Like just be
No, I
like
feel
a
like
very
that
beautiful
would
like
fuck with
reef
you so hard.
underneath you or something. Like,
I'll put Shamu. Fuck
and
that.
Shamu.
I can't wait.
Shamu gonna get you.
Like jumping into another simulation.
Right.
At the end.
We did talk about
Well-
the simulation theory the last podcast. Do you guys know what the simulation theory is? Everybody in
Yeah.
here?
Yeah.
Okay. What are your opinions? Plausible or likely?
I don't know, man.
Plausible.
Sometimes like
Plausible, but I'm not scared if it's true.
All right, I kind of agree. This morning I had to go to Fry's, right, to get groceries, and in the car, my baby's in the car, and I'm thinking about the simulation theory and whether it's true or not in the car. And as I'm thinking about it, bro, my son starts to cry. Like, I'm like, damn, that's them trying to get me off track. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
the only thing that trips me out is that whenever we like, let's say we're driving to Walmart. Walmart's like what, 30 minutes away. I see someone, a random person, they'll be walking their dog or some shit. We'll go for what, 2, 3, 4 hours, and I'll come back and I'll see the same person in the same spot. That's happened to me. It happens to me every single time.
It's
Not every single
crazy.
time, but I started telling her, and she's like, "No, you're so stupid."
Is
you're
this some
stupid."
crackheads though?
No, it's not crackheads.
No, it's
It's
so
regular
no,
Okay.
it's
random
like random
people.
people. Like it's true. Like we'll be like, okay, like we're gonna go visit my mom.
Yeah.
So as we're leaving home, and then we see like somebody walking their dog.
Just anything, skateboarding, just walking.
Yeah, whatever. Just
Same
for
spot.
this
That's
instance, let's say
freaky.
it's somebody walking their dog. So we go to my mom's house, we hang out, we're like, okay, let's go to the store. We go to the store. You know, like it takes hours. And when we come back, they're walking their dog. Like we see the same person, whether
the
it's like somebody
same
riding a
spot.
skateboard or like walking their dog, but just walking the opposite way, like going back. It's so
But in the
weird.
beginning, I was like, "This okay, it's a coincidence." But it happens so often. I'm just like, "Fuck, like everything's glitching right now." I'm in the simulation right now or something.
That is
I think
freaky.
the most like compelling evidence is the advancements of computers. I think everything else can be speculative, but it's just like when you think of how far we've come, like in terms of being able to process like information and computing power, it's kind of hard to imagine what the limit is other than the speed of light. Like,
Yeah.
if that
Well,
makes sense.
there's one thing. So this might get into nerdy territory, but
We're with it.
Let's go.
it's like so like you know pi, like the irrational number.
Mhm.
3.1415.
Yeah, there's infinite
Yeah.
values for it, right? So that's not something like we invent. That's something we can discover, but it's an infinite. It would take an infinite amount of information to store that in the simulation.
Right.
So whatever the higher order universe is, they have to be able to store an infinite amount of information in order for us to have pi. That makes sense.
Oh, I get
Right.
you. Yeah.
So then and so then it's not obvious that that higher order universe can store an infinite amount of information.
Right.
They're doing math and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the thing with like infinite, right? So like I always had this problem in my head, right? So if you look at infinity as if it was a graph, right? So from point 2 to 3, there's an infinite amount of points within there, right? But then from point 2 to 4, there's also an infinite amount of points in there. But 1 is obviously clearly twice the size. So what is an infinity if one infinity can be bigger than the other infinity? I've never like that's always hurt my head. I don't understand.
Well, there's actually there's different sizes of infinity.
So
so there's countable infinities. So like you can it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, like the normal numbers. So I'm gonna count, right? And there's uncountable infinities. So I'm gonna count all the decimal numbers. Like you wouldn't even be able to start that because what's the first decimal?
Oh right.
Well,
like
you can't even start it.
0.0000000.
You just go on first. That
Right.
infinity is larger than the countable infinity.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, and then there's bigger ones than that. I think the biggest one is like Aleph null or something. Infinity, Aleph null. Yeah, it's like.
So the fact that
crazy.
infinity even exists. But okay, so. Well,
it's all theory, right? Like this is not like.
Well, math is just a classification of ideas. So they're just ideas that we're making. So
yeah, it's called logic,
That's fine.
not fact.
So yeah, I mean, to say it's like not real or real, it's just is the classification of tall people real? Like, I guess yeah, it's real, but it's like subjective. It's like it's just the classification that we made up is not built in the universe, but it is real.
Yeah, and not even
Like
to mention that
talk.
we don't even know how much we're not able to perceive on this plane. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like certain animals can hear different frequencies, see different frequencies. Like we don't even know what we don't know.
Right.
So it's freaking me out just thinking about real shit like that, or like how small we are in the grand scheme of everything. That always makes me feel very weird.
Yeah, me too.
Like, have you seen Interstellar?
Yeah.
That shit's crazy. Like when he goes to that world where it's all waves. They're there for like 2 minutes. They come back and the guy's all old. It's been like 30 years and shit. That shit's crazy.
That is.
That's due to. Can you explain that, Robert? Because you explained it to me one day, but I completely forgot. Because you experience time differently when you're getting farther from what? Or is it the speed you're traveling?
There's speed, but then that one was gravity.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's based on gravity.
Yeah.
I remember in this physics book in high school, there was like a section where like two twins, like the idea was that there was twins, right? That were born here on Earth, and then one of them stayed here and the other one went to like space. Like technically the one in space would be younger because they're farther away.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
From the gravitational pull.
No, it would be that one is because of the speed. So I studied physics, so I'm like, so it's like what I study, but yeah, it would be the speed. So the idea is like the speed of light has to be the same no matter what. So you can imagine like I'm in a car and you're standing there. If I shine a flashlight, to my perspective, that light should be going at the speed of light. If you're standing still, classically you would think that that flashlight would be shooting light at the speed of light plus whatever the speed of the car is. Right. But since the speed of light has to be the same to both of us, it has to be the speed of light. So time has to shift. So the faster you go, the more the
time shifts without space shifting, because eventually they meet up in the same time and space, but different time has passed for different. But then they meet on the same plane. I don't understand that part. Like I understand if they couldn't, like parallel universes in a way.
I see what you're saying.
But like once they actually meet up, how has different time actually passed for you?
So from one guy's perspective, the time shifts. From the other guy's perspective, the space is stretching. So if I go really fast at you, I would look flat. If I was going at the speed of light, I would look flat because my space is shifting. So to you, space is close. To me, time is long.
Okay. So they.
This is crazy.
I mean, it essentially is like time travel in a way. Right?
Yeah.
Eventually, do you think, with what you know about physics, you think that's any sort of possibility for humans to figure out?
Like going back in time?
Or like forward, or making somebody experience time differently within the same plane? You know what I mean? Like if I can make you experience life 3 times slower so that you potentially live 3 times longer.
I think there are some. So the thing with that is just how fast can we make someone go? I think there have been like some theories. So what they have is like this huge. It's like a boat. It's a ship, but it has sails like on a boat. But what these sails are, they would, instead of catching wind, they catch light. So all you do is point it away from the sun, and then so the sun is basically like a huge energy source. So these sails catch the light pushes the ship, and so you would just leave that there for a long time, and it would just keep on accelerating. So eventually, it should get fast enough where that time shift is like perceivable.
Damn. Science. I didn't think I was going to learn this today.
Knowledge.
Yeah, no.
That's crazy.
Well, they have to change the clocks on satellites because they do shift, but that's like milliseconds. So.
Damn.
So in the future, we're just gonna have a bunch of Marty McFlys everywhere.
Yeah.
That'd be sick.
That'd be cool. Go on a trip, you can come back, and it's like 200.
I know, just teleport anywhere or something.
Dude, that would be tight if you could, like, I'm thinking of places that, say we're like multiple planets and multiple civilizations are a thing. If there's like a huge strife on one planet, you could be for 200 years, but it's really only like a year, and then you come back and shit's kind of reset.
It's all normal.
That'd be so helpful. Like Earth could use a cool 500 without humans. I think it would do Earth some real good.
And for us, it's only 30 years.
Yeah, like we just go dip out for a little bit, come right back, and we fixed it. Earth fixed itself. It would. If humans left, Earth would fix itself pretty quickly, I think.
Yeah.
But
yeah, there wouldn't be diapers going into landfills.
I know, it's just crazy how the ocean is like all full of trash and shit. It's so sad.
It is. We'll figure it out as long as we're down to invest. We just gotta convince people to invest into it. But we are pretty much at the 2-hour mark, so I think we're gonna kind of wrap up here pretty soon. I know that was like kind of the limit I put, just in case you guys got to do stuff. But we do always kind of end these with 2 questions. Well, really, it's gonna be 3 questions, all right? So the first question I have, we can just go. I'll just lay out the order right now. So we'll go Maria, Robert, Blue, Jose. All right. So the first question is, what was your first camera? Whether it's like a video camera or like a point and shoot, besides disposable.
Mine was a Canon. What? I don't even remember.
What's the T?
T6, I think. Yeah, that was my first camera.
How old were you?
I was 18, I think. Yeah, 18.
Robert?
So my first camera was a Canon. I think it was either 700D or 70D. I don't remember. That was actually, so I didn't buy it. I was like handed down it, or like I inherited it. And that lasted me a few. So yeah, like I was pretty stagnant with that camera up until like I decided to improve. But yeah, that was my first camera.
About you, Blue?
Mine was, but this was when I wasn't even taking pictures or doing videos. I was just like putting up like little random videos on YouTube. But it was I think it was a Sony. I remember it was the first like flip up mirrorless camera. Like the ones like you can like flip up the screen and look at yourself. It was like an A100 A something, but I remember it was like the first one. And I bought that. I remember I was working at UPS. And I saved up all my fucking money to get that shit.
Worth it.
I think I was like 16, 17.
All right.
Mine was it's called a Nikon Cybershot. It's not like like interchangeable lenses or anything. It's like a point and shoot. And I bought that like on a Black Friday for $90. That was probably like 12 years old. I would do like stop motion videos, so it was just like pictures.
Pictures, yeah.
Yeah. And then from that, met Robert. We started using, I think it was a 70D. Yeah. So like making videos 70D was the first camera. It was pretty good camera.
When did you guys meet? How old were you?
2013, 14.
Yeah,
Cool.
something like that.
Okay, second question. This one's a lot more theoretical. All right, you have one piece of lasagna, and you have a second piece of lasagna. You put this lasagna on top of this lasagna. Do you have one lasagna or two lasagna? You can start, Maria. Or we'll make Michael go first because he already like showed an answer.
Yeah,
What's
yeah,
your
okay, yeah,
reasoning?
let him go
Also, you need your reasoning behind it. Why?
All right, one. I'm eating it. It's gone. One though. It's just one piece of lasagna.
But you haven't eaten it yet. It's sitting on a plate, and who knows if it's even your lasagna. You might not
Two
eat the
pieces
lasagna.
of lasagna and I stack it on top. Isn't a lasagna just stacked up on top of each other?
Right, so it's one lasagna
One.
then? Okay.
One lasagna to me.
I would say
Okay.
1, 2.
Was I aware that it was two pieces at one point?
Yes, you see the second piece put on top of
It's
the
two
first
lasagnas.
piece. Okay, two lasagnas.
No, it's a
Different cheeses?
No,
stomach
it's one lasagna. Actually, I changed my mind.
Yeah, it's one lasagna.
One lasagna? What about you?
Yeah.
Lou?
Yeah, it is right.
Mm,
One lasagna.
how many layers?
Um, I
That's
I
not the
get-
whole thing.
I guess each one has 3 layers.
Damn,
We'll
that's,
keep it consistent.
that's
a
a
big-
big piece of fucking.
No.
It's like a cake.
So you go from 2 3 layers to 1 6 layer. Is it 1 6 layer lasagna or 2 3 layer lasagnas?
Or
No,
6
we
one
live in
layer
a-
lasagnas.
I think
Or
it's one
s-
because I don't really think it matters how many layers you give it. So it's one.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think the only question that nobody ever asked that is very important is, are they from the same original lasagna or 2 separate lasagnas?
I don't think that matters.
You don't think that matters no matter what? If
No.
it's like
No, 'cause if you
lasagna
stack 'em up-
A gets a slice and then lasagna B gets a slice?
Because
This
if it's
is the
gro-
point in which people die for their opinion.
That's the point of some of these end questions, is to spark
You
debate.
got- With the normal lasagna, you have different layers. So like, you have your beef and then your cheese and then your pasta. So if you add more different layers, that doesn't
It's
change
just
anything.
one lasagna.
Okay,
Even if
so
one part's expired and the other part's not, like you shouldn't eat it. It's one piece of lasagna.
like no matter what, as soon as one layer is on top of another layer, it becomes one lasagna.
It's one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, mesh.
Very consistent answers. Everyone pretty much agrees that it's one lasagna.
Good job, guys. We did it.
Really one?
Well, I mean, there's no
I don't
answer.
Oh, it's just. Oh, I was
It's
like,
just
I
whatever
was
you
all
think,
waiting
you know?
for it.
Yeah, cool.
I try to think of.
Thank you guys all for coming, by the way.
Yes,
Oh,
I
yeah.
really
Thank
appreciate
you for
it.
having us.
Thanks for having us. Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope you guys had fun. Before we get into the last kind of question, I guess, if you are ever like wanting to come back, say you have like a project in the future or something like that, definitely just reach out to us. We're always welcome to have people back. It kind of lined up this way where we have both videographers kind of joining, but we
Yeah.
do like to mix stuff up. So sometimes we have like
I woke
clothing
up at
brands, like we had Soleil drop in, who's like a rapper. So if you're ever dropping something in the future, you want to come promote it, definitely just message us and see what's up. Or if you know a certain guest that's coming in the future and you kind of get to meet them, definitely just hit us up. Our whole
Oh, yeah.
goal with this is to kind of connect people and bring light to what everyone else is doing.
That's good.
But
Yeah, we have an intro being made, animation. Well, that's at least being planned.
Yeah.
So we got some cool stuff. Like we do want it to be more produced with time. We
Right.
do plan on creating a website soon. Hopefully by the end of the month, that's up. So yeah, we're hoping to make this seem more official. We'll see what happens. I don't know what we're supposed to do with this thing yet. We're
It's
just
cool,
supposed to
I
get
like
people on and
Cool.
talk
Yeah.
about it.
I like the layout and everything. Like when you guys post it on YouTube and like the layout of it all and like how you guys live stream it and just like bring on like random people on. I think that's super dope too.
I think it'll be cool to. I don't know if this is in your plan, but to do in-person podcast once like COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
So it is. It's logistically tougher to get a lot of guests just because then we do have to have mics for each
Right.
individual person.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
And we have 4 right now. So like this specific podcast wouldn't really be doable.
Right.
But yes,
Soon.
yeah,
That'd
that
be
is the
dope.
plan eventually, to have more in-person stuff, especially once this is all cleared up.
And we want our own black magic too. So we're gonna have to learn how to use that.
That's why I was asking, like, how much more did you learn post actually buying it, or like, what were your expectations before versus after buying it? Like, what did you actually have to learn? Because he talks about black magic literally all the time, and like you saying all this extra stuff, I'm just like, man, do you know all of this?
I don't know any of it. Absolutely none of it.
What's black
The
magic?
the
It's a
return
camera.
on investment is definitely worth it. I think immediately we saw what we were missing out on in terms of new technology in the world's cameras.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
you do have to buy external stuff. So like
Yeah.
the camera itself with the lens is pretty unusable.
Yeah.
Like, I think the batteries last like 30 minutes.
Oh my god.
So yeah.
Can you
Okay,
plug it
That's
in?
thank you for letting us know that, because that's a
So,
good.
You
Some
you
of them
can plug it
frustrating.
in. You can plug it in, but you can also solder a separate extension to the charger and make it a female input or female output. Anyways, you can hotwire the battery and you can like plug in a 2-hour battery in it.
Yeah, which is
Okay.
what we did.
Yeah, and that was like a $20 solution.
Damn, let's go.
Yeah. So
Engineering.
Or you can
before
plug it
we
straight-
dropped
like
the,
if it's a podcast, plug it straight into the wall.
Yeah, that's what we're doing right now. It's plugged into the wall.
yeah. So before we buy, we're gonna question. And a Blackmagic is just like a really high end camera. Blue.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you can send us some questions. I mean, we're pretty familiar with it now. So
So
That'll be awesome. Yeah,
yes.
if you guys have any questions about like advertising, I'm not supposed to say that I'll help you, but
He could give you
Okay.
advice.
Sounds good.
But last question is kind of just if you have anybody you want to shout out, and then where we can find your guys' work or like your guys' personal pages if you want to give them out.
I think I want to shout out the recent passion project that my girlfriend and I started. It's called Playground. You can find us at shopplayground.us on Instagram, and that's also the website. We're just gonna keep rolling out presentations because it's just fun to us. So
Can you just like
Yes.
real quick just elaborate a little bit more on what Playground is? We didn't really touch on it at all.
my girlfriend's an artist, like extremely talented artist. So we just wanted to share that with people. So we do our first product was a tote, and she hand carved the stamp, and that's how we printed them. But it won't really be like a fashion brand, or it would just be like different things that we create with her talents. So it can be anything from like a candle to just like random stuff that we want to make. We don't really have like any set rules in place.
Okay, that's tight.
but the first one was a tote and it did have our artwork. It's very nice. You can get it
That's
at
correct.
Playground.
Shop
Playground. Us.
Shopplayground.us.
Cool.
Shout out anything else?
No, I'll just put my personal Instagram, and that's at Tito TITOR Romero. So TITORROMERO. That's it.
Then what about Noche Americana? Where can we find like that work?
We're on Instagram as NAMLLC. And on Twitter as NAMLLC. Those are our social media handles. And our website's nocheamericana.co.
Right. What about you, MILKNOISE? Either one of you
Pretty
guys can
much
go
everything.
first.
It's MILKNOISE, so you can find us at MILKNOISE on Instagram, Twitter, or Twitter. I think is it at MILKNOISE?
I think you got a
It's
CO at the end.
Yeah, I think it's
Oh.
.co. Yeah. And you can find my personal at KIIROWOLF too.
2 eyes.
2 eyes. Yeah.
Yeah, you can find me at World of Blue, no E, and if you guys could support the brand too, Die Happy Co. That'll be sick too. Dropped this shirt February, 1 year anniversary next month. So hopefully, I'll have a little mini collection dropping next month.
That's tight.
Cool.
Again, I appreciate
And-
everybody for stopping by. Like, do you have any like kind of closing anything?
Yeah, I got a couple things. So Noche Americana, you guys said you guys have a video in the works, but you don't have a release date yet, right? For the
Yeah,
music video.
that's correct.
Cool.
Our goal is April.
Cool. And I know you guys are working on a project. Is it like on pause for now? With
Yeah, we have-
Isaiah was like running, right?
We have a big project in the works. Yeah,
that's a short film, but
That's cool.
that's actually on pause. That's correct. Yes.
Cool.
We're gonna wait for COVID to settle, and then we're gonna have to do some recast.
Cool. So, I mean, you just put out something with Ray, from Creto. That video was really nice. I do remember he came over that was my birthday weekend, I believe, because he like got COVID testing. He was supposed to spend the night, and then he's like, "Oh, this is the day he has to come and shoot, so I'm gonna go." And like, I do remember him telling me that he was gonna go shoot that with you, so that's pretty cool. Because like the finished product was really good. Like the whole thing, the way it was very like documentary-esque, like the way I really like the voiceover. It was all really well done. So yeah, I know Ray is dropping some shit for Creto in a couple, like next month. I don't know if you are working on him with anything in the future, but I know he has some cool stuff.
We're gonna work with his next collaboration. I don't know if I can give that out or if he's like mentioned anything about it, but I just won't. But yeah,
there's
Tell us,
some
Ray.
really
I know you're in
cool-
the chat.
There's some really cool ones. He didn't. I don't think he would want to, because last time when he was on, he didn't want to.
that's
And
true,
then
that's true.
I know Jared from Never Good Enough, guest, good friend, is dropping some shit on 420. We'll probably have a couple podcasts before that. And again, Soleil came on earlier. He's dropping a project called Bungalow Blue.
That'll be
It'll be out on Bandcamp and SoundCloud by the time this is out. So on Monday, and then next week, it'll be on all DSPs. Yeah, I think that's it. That's all I got to plug. I can't wait till I start getting paid to do this. That'd be real nice.
Have a sick ass neon sign in the back. The outlet.
Did we break the record for your runtime?
Yeah, the last one was like 2:03.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
The longest one was Isaiah's.
Oh, that's actually
permanent.
That was like before we did
that a
live
two-parter?
streaming. Yeah, we did.
Yeah,
break
we
it up
had
into
to break it
part.
up. It was the same one though,
because it was like almost 4 hours long, dude. Right?
It was so good. I love talking to fucking
That was
Isaiah.
a good
I love
episode.
hearing his brain.
Wait, was that one live stream too, or did you guys do that in person?
That one was just a
We did that in
recording.
person.
So no video.
Yeah, the video's new. But again, thank you guys for coming. You guys are welcome back. I do gotta go. Thank you guys.
Yeah,
thank you.
Appreciate
it was nice
you.
meeting you, Jose Robert.
Have a good rest of your day. I hope some people go and drop you guys some follows and check out your guys' stuff.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Later, guys. Thank you.
Later.
Bye.